We're
There's a thing.
live! Hello, guys. And
Hello,
ladies.
Internet.
Oh, mine's backwards now too. I totally get it. I totally see that, Alex. Okay, yeah, it's the camera thing so that like you can see yourself in the same direction that you experience yourself.
Yes.
Wait, really?
Uh-huh.
Hi. I live over here. That's so cool.
Hi, Internet!
Yo!
We're here! Take our
We're
first
told to
drink
understand
before we
technology clearly.
started. Do you
Part
want to
two,
do
cheers.
introductions again? Part two of SMblr Hangout.
Bam,
Yeah!
bam, 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 bam.
Bam, 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 bam.
Oh, fuckers, cheers.
Oh, alright.
God damn it, I already drank. Cheers. Oh man, I have to drink again. If you didn't see our
I know.
labels, I'm Thank You 5.
I'm Levianity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Um,
helpful. It's over there. Look at that. Cupping it with my gentle hand.
I'm Alex. No oath, no spell.
Oh, I guess I can give I'm Tiffany. It's my real name. Not,
Oh yeah, I'm
55's
Laura.
not my birth name.
I
But it'd
will-
be pretty sweet.
I will give people their names. How does that sound?
You can do that too.
Well,
Doesn't
doing
matter.
it.
You do what you want to do.
There are
So
no
we've been
rules
getting-
here.
There are no rules. There are no rules.
That's what's funny about adulthood. There are no
It
rules.
There are no rules. So in case you saw this up here, I have to point with my other hand. Our drink word is rehearsal. Anytime we say the word rehearsal, we all have to drink. But we will be drinking intermittently during that. Also, this is your fair warning that we will be drinking heavily and cursing heavily and probably talking about penises and boobs and things like that. It'll happen. It just
That's what
does.
she said.
I had a really good one earlier today when my actor said something about that's too small to be convincing. Tell me about it, and just high-fived everybody and walked out of the dressing room.
You
And
got
I was
it.
done. It was so good.
And,
It was so good.
and it's just so many innuendos. It's so bad. It's such a bad person.
So does anybody? Am I frozen to anybody else, or are you guys the only ones?
Let
No,
it
you're
go. No, you're not frozen.
I
Okay,
will
cool.
kill you.
Thank you.
Actually.
I will actually literally kill you. I won't ever do that to anybody.
Oh, God.
Different color.
Like,
Dark.
No, take it back. Does anybody have a question? I have lots of questions in my inbox, but if anybody else wants to go first.
I think you go first.
Okay,
all right.
hit it. Oh, before we hit questions, in the interest of keeping a better eye on our time, because last time we would intermittently spend like forever on one question and then just breeze through others. So we're going to spend a max of 8 minutes on each question unless we get into a really good discussion, in which case we will use our judgment and keep going.
So when you hear the Parks and Rec theme song, stop, because that is my ringtone.
Perfect.
Tiffany,
Yes.
quick thing. Q2Q Comics says Tiffany is the only large image. It's not switching between your screens.
Oh no.
You need
Okay.
to select yourself because you're the moderator, I think.
Ugh, yes, I will work on that. Who's got Laurel, are you doing the first question?
Sure, I can take the first question. In my inbox, I have, if you weren't in theater, what would you be doing?
All right, and starting.
Now. I would probably be in some kind of other artistic venture because I started out in theater as an actor, so that's what I wanted to be doing. With my current skill set, if suddenly someone says you cannot work in theater ever again, I would probably be an administrator because I just find organizing things really fun. I would want to go to a lot of theater though because I love it and I want it in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, prior to getting into this weirdo theater game, I was going to be like a band teacher, like band orchestra teacher, like college level. So I was looking into music education. So, and it wasn't until I was in the community college that my passion started switching and I got into the theater thing. So if I were by some weird lightning bolt unable to do this theater thing, I'd probably get involved in music, go back into education. I might try seeing about some kind of administration thing like Laurel mentioned. Probably end up in like the producing side of like live music. Yeah, or something like that.
I honestly am not sure because I've been doing theater for so long that I think it's just part of who I am. But if someone, like Laurel said, cannot do stage management ever again, find a new job tomorrow, I would probably go work with the Girl Scouts or some other like empowering young women organization because I think that's super important. And even though I am terrible at math and science and engineering and technology, I couldn't remember all the words in STEM. I think it's super important to let girls know that that's an option because, you know, I watched that happen to a lot of girls that I grew up with be told that math wasn't for them or science wasn't for them. So, and it just breaks my heart to think about all that we could have lost from girls thinking that that's not for them. So probably doing something like that. Plus, Girl Scouts are dope as shit. Their cookies are delicious. And they go on a lot of camping trips.
Oh my god, I have Thin Mints in my room.
Oh, Thin Mints. Okay, so I guess it's my turn. I was gonna go to school for teaching if I hadn't gotten so far into theater, and I probably would have been either an English teacher or a theater teacher. I don't know what age group, but English or theater, so I guess middle or high school. Probably high school because, as we spoke about before, middle schoolers are a bit too much for me sometimes. I respect them in their own way, but they're magical creatures that I don't always understand. And
that's so funny. Middle school is the only age range I can handle that are not like above me.
Oh my God! Bless your heart for it.
I did middle school summer camp, and it was so much. I drank a lot that summer. Also because alcohol is delicious. You're presenting me. What is that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to get us to all be seen. I'm presenting to everyone.
all be seen at the same time. It needs to do the switchy thing.
Oh,
yes, I know. But then they said that, are we switching for sure? Because I got a message that we weren't switching and that somebody else was up while no longer fixed.
I have Steven of Q2Q Comics on chat who is watching this thing and he's commentating.
Perfect.
Hi, Steve.
What does he say? Hi, Steve.
How does technology work?
Technology? We had it figured out last time, and then it stopped.
Work.
Cool. So is that. Sorry, guys, for the intermittent issue. We will have it fixed shortly. I believe in us.
Sequel syndrome. It's total sequel syndrome.
Yeah. It is.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, the third one will be a lot better.
We're doing a sequel.
Someone want to do some filler business while I try and get our issue resolved? Are we like resolved? Has Steve said anything else about us being resolved?
He says hi.
Hi.
Alex is the big head right now because he was just laughing, so we could hear him. And as I'm speaking, Steven is typing, and I do not know if Steven is typing anything relevant because all I see is 3 dots, and he's live blogging it. Excellent.
See, the funny thing is, I'm not just the big head like on this Google Chat thing. My head is actually huge in real life.
It's true. So, I've seen it. It's a monster. It could barely get into the book.
Wait, you're in anime? You're like actually in anime?
It's.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's disgusting. Crazy. It's wildly inconvenient. Like the T-shirts I have to get, the necks are huge to fit over my dome, but like the rest is small. It's really funny.
You should wear V-necks more often.
I just opened Q2Q's page and the quote is me. I love it. Yes, thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Okay.
So it begins.
So I'm going to pretend that everything is fixed. I'm following the comments. People are commenting in that little YouTube side window.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's still an issue, people who are watching and commenting in the YouTubes, let me know.
And put questions.
AV crew would be cool. MB Vid 1. However, we're in 4 different states, and this is the second time we've done it. But maybe somebody will be our AV crew in the middle of the country. So then we've got people from all over the place. If anybody wants to volunteer themselves and knows how to do that.
Tiffany is going to be in New York with me real soon. And
Yeah.
Whoa,
all
Steve.
Katie and Alex have to do is join up in their little world together. And they're like West Coast fucking world.
Yeah, we can hang out before I move back east, because I'm never coming back to this nightmare state.
So we can all
Last words I know.
do like competing coast things.
Oh man.
I see how it
That
is.
got serious.
West Coast, West Coast.
And then
baby.
Katie can just move back to the East Coast. We can leave Alex behind. Boys are yucky. Bye.
Bye forever.
Oh no, wait till me.
Aw.
Guys, Alex is
Yes, Steve,
calling.
your clothes are on your bed. For context, Alex has had a very rough,
I haven't slept nearly enough for this shit.
and he's a sleepy baby duck. So bear with us.
Ugh.
Sweet baby duck.
I
Okay.
tried really hard to name my mom's cat Baby Duck, and she wasn't having it.
I like that. So who has more questions?
I do.
I've got like
Sorry,
some leftovers.
Yeah.
Should I go?
Hit us with a leftover.
Okay, cool. Sure. I got an old one from Tumblr user Jelly Snack.
Hey.
Jelly snack.
The question is, I won't be able to be part of the discussion because it's my closing and drinking. I don't exactly know what that sentence means.
You're gonna be drinking after closing.
Yeah,
Or
alright.
all the discussion and drinking because it's closing.
Ah,
There has to be parentheses somewhere in there.
yeah. Yeah, and then she says, but I want to know, what's the worst advice someone has given you? Why was it terrible, and did you know it was terrible at the time, or was it terrible in hindsight?
Huh.
It's a very interesting question.
Worst advice.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
I think
Can we stew on that one? Unless somebody has an answer right away. Can we stew on it? And if it comes to us,
I
Okay,
have
do it.
one.
do
we
it.
have all right. So
Worst advice someone ever gave me was on my first show ever, and someone the producer basically told me that the producer is my boss, and I went through the rest of my shows thinking, oh, the producer is the stage manager's boss, and then that got me in trouble a few times, and I realized that no, that guy was just full of shit. So
Yeah, that's a pretty
Like-
terrible.
yeah, stage managers don't really have a direct overseer. We don't really have a supervising officer.
create ourselves.
Yeah, we're like beholden to, not exactly. We're not really beholden to anyone.
We are
But
free!
That's of the show as a concept.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
strange.
yeah.
We're like this weird sort of free radical in the show.
Yeah. We answer to everybody and nobody at the same time.
Yeah. I'd say probably the worst advice I've ever gotten was probably the first show of my undergrad. My stage manager was just really, really anti-actor. She was one of those people who firmly believes in the delineation between the actor side of theater and the tech side of theater, and never the two shall mix. So she would just like whenever we'd be on breaks during rehearsals, she'd always look over and be like, "Oh my God, what's the fucking deal with this actor? He keeps forgetting his shit. He leaves shit every night. He's forgetting his pencil."
Did you say
He's just-
rehearsal?
Ah, shit.
Drank.
Responsible.
The responsible one's encouraging us all to drink.
That's good. It's good. It's a healthy mix.
Katie.
But yeah, so basically the worst advice that I ever got was someone enforcing that stereotype of actors being the worst and there being a really strong division between the tech side and the actor side. That's BS.
I think the worst advice I ever got was getting too much advice. When I was a little baby freshman at my college, where I learned a ton, that is very good. Do not get twisted. I loved my college experience, but I had two advisors that did not always see eye to eye, and then there were 3 grad students who had very strong opinions about things, who often did not see eye to eye, and then of course all of the upperclassmen. And I was just this sponge of trying to figure out what I had already learned from my pre-college experience and trying to fit into this new world. And I felt like a lot of the time I was trying to take everyone's notes at the same time and trying to dress better, but also dress like myself, and be nice, but also be the arbiter of things. And it just like got me so caught up that I like forgot all of my instincts. I forgot all of like just my clear understanding of what I think is right, and which is just another way to say instincts. And it really threw me for a loop for about a semester or two before I realized that just because they're older than me and more experienced than me doesn't mean they automatically know what's right, and they automatically know how to handle this specific situation as me. So being able to take bits and pieces of their advice in order to make my own way took a while for me to understand, but yeah, you can like just sort of trying to blindly follow everyone's suggestions doesn't work in this field because everything will always be different, so you always have to adjust in a different way. So.
Yeah, and you're constantly in a state of experimentation.
Exactly. What worked for me 2 months ago isn't going to work for me now, isn't going to work for me next summer, isn't going to work for me in 5 years. So
yeah,
being able to
You're literally always in a case-by-case situation.
Yep.
I'm still working on this camera issue.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah?
Yes, if you need a pass.
I do need to pass, but I'll think on it. I'll stew on it.
Cool. And we did it over time. Good job, us.
Yeah. Yay!
Nice.
Really good.
One day I hope we do meet time because Parks and Rec is awesome and it is my theme song.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
One day.
Trust me.
I'm sure we will.
So
Like,
while Tiffany's working on the camera issue, Kate, you should tell us your question. Sorry, Alex, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. Go ahead. Dead air!
Yeah, I was going to say. I can do this for a while.
Katie, give us a question.
I have a question. This is from an anonymous user, so sorry if you're not watching. I'm in high school and dedicated to pursuing a career in stage management. Good job, you. I make good grades but struggle slightly in math, mainly advanced algebra. I was wondering how active are your math skills in your job? What levels of education do you all have in math? Thanks. I love all of your blogs so much. They're extremely helpful and fabulous. You are extremely fabulous, anonymous user. I will start off, if that's cool with everyone.
Yes,
Go.
please do.
I am so bad at math. I am not good at it. I did not take anything above, like, college algebra and, like, a requisite physics course. You had to take 2 mathy things in my undergrad, so I did that and scraped by. I am very, very bad at math. But I use a lot of, like, regular, like, real-life math in my job and in my life that I feel like are a lot different than school math. Like, I have to figure out budgets for things and budget my own life and sort of be cognizant of pay. Not a lot now, but I can see that being a thing in the future. So I think being able to understand money math and time math are the most important. And, like, figuring out slopes and bullshit like that is of no use to anyone. Sorry. And then also, well, kind of ground plan math, but that's mostly feet and nature. So yeah, time math, money math, and, like, feet and inches math, measurement math. That's about it. It's not hard. You don't need a big-ass calculator to do that. You just need to, like, check your work and not be stupid. So I hope that answers your question. I'm not good at this.
I'm just envisioning the Steven quote. Katie, how's it? Check your work. Don't be stupid.
I do like geometry a lot, though, personally.
I can take this one next.
Hit it.
I have not taken a math class since my sophomore year of high school.
Nice.
My high school required geometry and algebra 2 to graduate, and then I went to Sarah Lawrence, where we are, like, notorious for not needing math. So there's
Hate
this
math? Go here.
thing on most phones called a calculator, and that does arithmetic for me. The rest of it I usually do on Google Sheets. That's where I put all the equations and things because that is what makes sense to me. Otherwise, I will, like, ask, like, I put in any of my contracts, I put the stipulation that I do not have to deal with budgeting. I will, like, say, I can say you're over budget, I can say we cannot afford that, but I will not deal with delegating budgets or coming up with budgeting or funding or anything to do with math and money. I can barely manage my own finances. How the fuck am I going to manage a show's finances? Like, yeah, sure, we can have a fog machine. What do you mean we don't have spike tape?
And the signing of those finances usually falls under production management or company management.
Yeah, but like a lot of the time they also fall to you because there is no production manager or company manager. So like I just make sure that those are in place before I sign on to anything to make sure I don't have to do them and I won't screw everyone over.
Yeah.
Yes, and so knowing your limits very important.
Yeah, and read your damn contracts. Yeah, know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Like, there's a gig that I've got lined up where they want me to be an SM and co-PSM, and they're being really nebulous about what the PSM duties are. So I'm like, we need to talk about this.
Yeah, I think knowing money is important for being a grown-up, but not necessarily requisite for being a stage manager. But if you are good at your money and you're good at being a grown-up, it makes being a stage manager less stressful. So.
Okay.
Tiffany, did we figure it out?
We did. It was so simple. Thank you, William Lowe, who has been talking in the comments about it. I just had to click on the person who had the box around their thumbnails, and then the box went away, and now we're all fixed. So shout out to that guy for helping.
William Lowe, I know that name. Do I know you in real life?
Cool.
Here's to William Lowe.
Thanks, William Lowe.
Thank you, sir. Or ma'am, however you identify.
Thank you, person. That being said, there's a lesson for you kids. Your solution is almost always the simplest one. Just can't see it for all the trees. Do I still have time to answer this?
Yeah, you have time.
Okay.
You got 3.5 minutes.
Perfect. Remind me of the question?
Do you use math?
Oh, do I use math? Basically what Katie said. Time math, occasional money math, and measurement math. But again, I am a whore for apps that are useful on my phone, and I use time calc. So I can literally just punch in, we went from this time to this time, and this time to this time, and this time to this time, and it'll say, you rehearsed this long. And then I can say, oh, that means that I took this much time in breaks. So even that I've started, I don't want to say cheating on, because it's only cheating if you're taking advantage of a system. And I'm not. The tools are there to use them. That being said, you're in school, so you've got to do it because you got to pass, kinda. I mean, you don't have to, but you should. It's gonna look better for you if you do.
It'll help you a lot.
It'll help you a lot.
Like, don't be bad at it.
The tools are there to help you if you can't look at a sheet and easily add up times, or if you have problem like scale rules. Scale rules do all that measuring math for you. You just have to understand a little bit of how ratios work. It's just basic understandings of things, and then from there, you're good to go. There's always people around who will help you. There are always apps. You're never on your own unless you're working with really, truly terrible people. You're never on your own in figuring something out. So.
Really, no one is
alone. I don't remember the song. Sorry.
Yeah. So basically my answer to this will be really, really quick. You'll never be in a situation where you can't use a calculator.
Yeah. There's no test in real life like that. Yeah. Ground plans are probably the hardest thing that I've come across different stage managers.
Google SketchUp.
So.
Google what?
Google SketchUp. It's like.
Yes. SketchUp is amazing.
Oh, I learned about that for the first time ever when, who was it, Lipstar Copper Wire? She posted about it because she used it for her bedroom. First time ever. And I didn't even think about using it for ground plans. That is fucking genius.
I am totally on Team SketchUp. I am anti-Vectorworks, but that's me. That's just how my brain works. Vectorworks is like amazingly detailed and I love it, but SketchUp,
Alex, you work in sound a lot, right? No, I'm making that up out of my face. Never mind.
You're thinking about Neo Chomsky.
Mostly a lighting program.
Yeah.
I
45
never
seconds.
learned Vectorworks. I never learned CAD. I never learned any of it. I am straight up print me out a ground plan to scale, and I take a ground scale ruler to it. I've never used any of this.
My
business.
parents are architects, and I love me some hand drafting. Like, hand drafting is where I find my zen. Don't judge me.
Mm-hmm.
And I love scale rules. Because I literally have been learning to use them since I was 6 years old, which is such a weird skill to have. And be like, oh, look at this thing, and move it around, and know where it's going.
Oh, that's sweet.
So, yes.
I'm changing my color back to a more pleasant color now that we've figured out this issue, and I don't need it to be red anymore to indicate my anger at technology.
Oh my god.
We all thought it was a joke.
No.
No.
Tony Meadows isn't a joke. Tony Meadows is here to fuck it up.
It matches your leggings.
Oh, I love the parks.
Katie, have you seen that video of the tiny child who dances to the Parks and Rec theme?
No.
Oh my god, I will send it to you after all.
You guys got so big.
I have been watching a lot of, and I found a Twin Peaks version. Like, it was like the Parks and Rec style intro for Twin Peaks, and I was like, this is everything. And I sent it to Becca, Stage and History, and I was like, this is everything. And she's like, please go to bed.
Please relax.
In my life.
All right, who's got another question? Tiffany?
I'll go. I do. I have. Let me go. Let me find the first one that I've got. Cast of Thoughts asked, say there's a rare instance of an internal rather than transitional sound or light cue being called late. Would you prefer the board op to wait until given a go, or take their own initiative to make the cue happen so as to keep the timing? Does it depend on who the op is? Parentheses, reliable and vigilant. Reliable is not a word, kid.
Now it is.
Reliable and vigilant equals more trust? Question mark. Do you ever talk with ops before a show about this possible situation? Cheers!
There's a lot to that question.
There is. So I guess the basis of that question, Steve, if you're watching, the answer is yes. I guess the base of it is if there's a lighting cue within a scene, it brightens the scene a little bit, or somebody shifts so it takes the light down somewhere else, and you miscall it or you don't call it. Do you want your board op to take it of their own volition, or do you want them to wait until you give a go? I've got an answer, but if someone else wants to take it, you can. Alex, do you want to take it since you got the end of the last question?
Sure.
Yeah.
This is tough because it's so circumstantial. I would say that I would want my board op to be with me at all times because there's a lot more knowledge that I have about the show that the board op might not be privy to. So I might not be calling this light cue at the same exact place as we did last night. There might be some problem going on backstage. The actor might be in a different place. Their pacing might be different, which is one of the beautiful things about our job. There's so much artistry in that, being able to flex and move. In a lot of ways, I see our job more as like a conductor of an orchestra than a mechanical lights go. So I would much prefer the board op to be with me and be flexing with me rather than like, oh well, the cue went here last night, so I gotta hit go now. Which I'm sorry to use a mocking Steve voice.
I was like, did you Steve?
Steve is my go-to. Like Steve, like the indefinite Steve, is my go-to character for anyone that fucks up.
Sorry, Steve of Q to Q.
I'm so sorry, Steve. I'm sorry you had to be that guy. It's not you at all.
No. I'll change the color for you. I'll change the color for you to an
unapologetic color. But yeah, so I would much prefer the board op to be with me, to be flexing and shifting with me, rather than taking the cue arbitrarily. Now, if there's, like, this is leading back to this being a really circumstantial question, if there's something weird going on and, like, there's a crisis, a fire, an injury backstage that, like, I'm on headset, like trying to coordinate and deal with, and if I can just trust my board op and be like, you know where the cues go for the next like 2 minutes, it's all you. While I'm communicating backstage, bueno. It's just this is such a circumstantial question. It's so tough.
It is. But I mean, everything. All of our. It's what Katie said earlier, that what worked 2 months ago isn't going to work today. It's all circumstantial. None of our shows and situations are ever going to be the same.
Yeah, but in general, I would prefer my board op stay with me.
Yeah, I sometimes, and my friend Becca, Stage and History, who I love, has had the same thing happen because we both worked in the same kooky theater space, where the stage manager can't see the full stage. There's like one part downstage left that we cannot see, and there's a place that a lot of people will enter from, and there's also a weird Juliet box. It's the weirdest fucking space. But the stage, the sound and the light board ops are in a little booth that can see that space. So what we've done is, if we're like, oh, this light needs to, like this summer, for reference, we had in my TYA show a troll pop up out of the Juliet box and needed to be lit for that. It was a person playing a troll, not a real troll.
Debatable.
So I would say, you know, take light 67 or whatever it was on a visual of actor name jumping out of the box. And we've done this show so many damn times because it's rep that I trusted my light board op to know, but I would still give him the heads up that being like, sometime after this, because it would always change, you know, like, you know, light 66 go, take 67 on the visual when you see so-and-so, and then he would take it. And I'd be like, cool deal. There was only like 1 or 2 times at the beginning of the run where he was like, I was like, take 67, go, and, you know, you get into that rhythm where you trust, and it is really up to how much you trust your light board op and how much you trust your sound.
How eligible they are, if you will.
Exactly.
How eligible
and like 1 or 2 times, someone else had to sub in for that light board op, and I was like, okay, here's what you need to know. You need to know that I need you to trust me and take these cues when I tell you to, and to be really ready for this. And it worked out for the most part. But, you know, it is case by case, and it is sort of, yeah.
Question?
Yes.
What is a Juliet box?
Oh, it is the weirdest fucking thing. This is like a super old opera house theater, and there were these 2. I mean, they were like boxes like you'd see in the seating of a regular house, where it had like a little. It was like a little curvy space. You could sit in them, and in other theaters it would be like where you watch, like a regular box, but it was on stage. So, like, I guess I'll call that because, like, if you were going to do the balcony scene, it's up a little bit. So then, you know, your Juliet is like 6 feet above.
It's the Statler and Waldorf box.
Yeah.
It's the Statler and Waldorf box, yes.
Because, okay, so Shakespeare nerd time, there was no fucking balcony in that scene. Like, nowhere is it written in Romeo and Juliet that there was a balcony. Like, people have been assuming that for centuries.
Yeah.
Like, no basis for this assumption.
I've read about this because in England during Shakespeare's time, balconies didn't exist.
No, because there were taxes on windows.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yes.
Dang.
History.
History, y'all.
The architecture. Amazing. So yeah, there are these weirdo boxes that, like, it's very weird because now that we're doing theater in such a more contemporary way, like when we did As You Like It, it was where like the Duke came out and was angry about shit, and then like when we did A Woman of No Importance, we just put plants in there. Like we have no consistent usage of them, but like in the TYA show, it was where the troll like popped out and then like hopped over it and jumped 6 feet onto the stage.
Excellent.
So, also there was a weird step in the middle of the stage, like there was an apron that was about 8 inches lower than the rest of the stage. The weirdest theater I've ever been in, but I love it. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, case by case.
Does anybody else want to speak to this?
Yeah, I do.
I'll take it after you.
One of my favorite pieces I've ever worked on was a devised piece where like half of the action took place on the floor and the audience would walk around it.
Nice.
And okay, so quick note, I hate devised pieces. The one person with whom I will ever work on devised pieces is the one who did this one, and I'm still working with her, and it's wonderful. Either way, I was the light board op, and the stage manager couldn't see one of the cues, but I could like sort of kind of see the foot. Yeah. And
Mark.
there were people saying hi to you.
Oh, hi, internet.
Hey, internet, meet my girlfriend Marg.
I have like 3 new followers. Somebody found me this.
Hey.
I'm getting you another ice in the drill. Thank you.
And so she and the stage manager and I would just constantly be in communication over comm over this one cue. There were like 3 minutes of us going, I can see her foot. Wait, no, I've lost visual. Hey, I've got it. Wait. God, where's she going this time? Ah, no, I see her. And eventually the sound guy, like one time the sound guy could see her better than either of us could, so he ended up calling the cue to me. But it was
All right.
where we had to be in constant communication.
Hmm.
And I'll tack on the last little bit. I'm kind of with everybody where it depends on the situation. My current Lightboard op is really sweet, about and awesome and on it with everything. I am terrible about looking at a page and seeing sound cue 150 and light cue 100 and saying light cue 150 go, and she'll go, do you mean this one? And I go, yes, that's what I mean. Just go. So she's really good about checking in with me. But at this point, we've also kind of got an understanding that I've got like dysgraphia when it comes to words going from page to brain to mouth hole.
The good old mouth hole.
The mouth hole.
God bless it.
But yeah, so if I have a Lightboard out that I trust, there will be times when I say, hey, you can take this as a visual, or I'm giving you a go now, but you execute it when you're ready. Let me know when it's complete, or just something like that. So yeah, that's the answer on that one.
Nice. We didn't go into time, so did everyone answer?
Yes. Yes, everyone answered.
My Death
This is
Star
my
ice
main
ball
celebration light.
a really problem.
A really problem.
A really hard time.
You were
It's a problem.
today.
I've been shit at grammar all day today.
Laurel, just remember, there's no wrong way to consume alcohol.
Try to peel it away like an orange.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying that.
Well,
Throw it at something.
try it more.
I like
Do better.
ice baller.
You need to make your body.
So I've got a question.
You have the next question? Do it.
On to the next one. Cool. Should I do a fresh question or leftover question?
You
Do a fresh one.
All right, cool.
do
The freshest of questions is from Cast of Thoughts.
Hey.
Hey, we just answered their question about this one.
Oh, hey. So they asked, for the Hangout, I came across this Vincent van Gogh quote that, and it got me thinking about how much I'm investing myself to theater. What's your advice for avoiding burnout and spending enough time outside of theater while not neglecting responsibilities? Apparently the quote is, I put my heart and soul into my work and have lost my mind in the process. Side note, I think you're all incredible, and I'm so thankful for your time and support. Can't wait to watch the Hangout live, but I look forward to the recording.
Hey,
Yeah.
Laurel, before we jump in, Nincor, question mark, I'm pronouncing your name, suggested that you run your ice ball under hot water real quick to get it to come out.
Well, it's already in the cup. Thank you, Nincor, or Ninecore, or whatever.
Ninecore, I don't know. Okay. So,
But yeah,
to Alex's question.
So basically, to summarize the question, it's asking, like, how exactly do you balance outside world things and real life to avoid burnout?
The eternal question.
Yeah, no joke.
Yes.
I think the answer is right here.
Yeah.
Oof.
Well,
Oh.
that's dangerous.
That's
in
dark.
Like, not an alcoholic way, in like a
Vodka.
joking.
Like, many apologies to everyone for that awful, awful, very dark joke. I do not believe in alcohol.
No. Now I have to turn it a sickly yellow behind me.
All my fault.
I mean, can I take this a little bit? Because
Hit it.
it happens to me. I think that is something everyone struggles with their whole academic life. Not academic, professional.
Professional.
And academic.
A lot of it, I mean, I think more heavily in the academic because you're balancing so many things and everyone expects so much of you. And like students, like it's totally a student mindset to say I've got to do all of this shit and I'm never going to be able to do all of this shit. What you don't realize is that once you're an adult, I go to work for 4 hours. I go to work from 8 o'clock until 12:30 during the week, and then I'm fucking done. I don't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
Like
Not having to work is so goddamn weird, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean,
but back to your answer.
Yeah, I think it's something everyone struggles with and everyone faces in different ways. I know stage managers who do a ton of yoga. I know stage managers who drink a lot. I know stage managers who smoke.
Crap noise is that?
I don't know. It was weird.
Alex?
Is that you?
No. Are you asking me to speak to this?
No,
no.
That noise
No, we have like a strange wind, like a Mary Poppins wind blowing through.
No, don't say Mary Poppins.
Oh, I don't know. I've got my phone on my desk, and it just went me.
That probably did it. Now we know.
Yeah,
Solve the mystery, guys.
I'm okay.
Okay, you're okay?
Uh-huh. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just say that I think finding something that you find calming, whether that is some kind of physical activity, crafting. A lot of stage managers I know knit, which is great because then you can make something that keeps you warm, or cross stitch, or other sort of crafty things is helpful. I think being able to step away from the work of the day and be like, well, I screwed up some shit today, but tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow is a new day. Being able to get in that mindset of being able to decompress at the end of your day and start afresh the next day, no matter how you reach that, as long as it is healthy and not damaging to you either financially or physically or emotionally, I think.
Side note, knitting can be very damaging to you financially.
True.
Like,
True.
I knit. I have had to cut myself off of buying new yarn until I finish all the projects in my bag right now. There are like 60 of them. It's insane.
Good God, Lemon. I watch a lot of
It's expensive.
so that is how I cope. But
I also like to advise take up a sport. I am the last person to say that because I hate sports, but I think it's unnecessary competition and aggression. But like, yo, if it works for you, it works for you. If it's good enough for Regina George, it's good enough for you.
I was just about to say that. Oh, what are you saying?
I know stage managers
Mean
who
Girls
wrestle.
quote
I know
begin.
stage managers who fence. I know stage managers who like swim and play basketball and like do something that is physical so that like your body gets tired, and when your body is tired, you sleep better, and when you sleep better, you're just a happier human being, and happy people have endorphins.
People don't kill their boyfriends.
Don't kill their boyfriends, Tiffany.
Nearly certain Alex does not know what we're talking about.
You're
That
not
was a
killing
Legally
your
Blonde
husband.
one. That wasn't Mean Girls. That was a Legally Blonde one, Alex.
Legally Blonde. Or you can be like me and cry about television. So
I do that too.
don't be me. I'm a disaster. I watch 25-year-old TV shows and cry about them.
My husband and I are in the midst of Cora, and I'm just kind of like, wait, but that totally, there's a huge plot hole here, and I get really upset with the plot hole.
Children. Well, not really. It's for young.
Weird.
Yeah.
My answer is it's the same as any other job. It's harder because it's the people involved are so volatile, and it can get super real. Hey, this is a reminder to tell drunk Alex, that he has cookies.
You cookies? Baby child. Like a man on Christmas.
Bye, Alex. But just like any other job, it doesn't seem like it because people get so emotional, and it's so much closer. Q to Q Steve says some people make comics to deal with the stress of their job.
I just got
But yeah, you have to be able to step away from it at the end of the day and live your life.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, those are taglines.
Motherfucker. I love those things.
tagalongs and Thin Mints are my favorites.
Me too.
Thin Mints and
Suck
Samoa,
it, nerds.
or whatever they call coconut delights, whatever they are now.
Oh, I hate
Go
coconut.
to the Girl Scouts council for this area. I need to just go up to them and be like, here is my money. Please give me cookies. So,
Truth.
some people eat Girl Scout cookies.
Some people like Girl Scout cookies. Some people, the moral of the story is that there is no set in stone way. You have to know you. You have to know I can handle this much, and then this is what I have to do. Laurel can tell you to go play softball, but you're going to go play a game of softball and be like, that was the fucking worst thing I've ever done. Why'd I listen to that bitch on Tumblr? Like, it's totally your call.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do at the end of a day when you're stressed out? What are you doing?
Thank you, Katie.
What?
Some people juggle geese.
I don't understand the juggling.
I got nothing.
Firefly, go watch it.
Oh, I'm not caught up in Firefly, and by caught up I mean
I've watched all of it, but like.
I haven't watched it at all. It's a 12-year-old show.
Okay, let's all calm down. Let's all.
We're all at like
You know
an 8.
what?
Bring
You
it
know
down.
what? I'm gonna say it. Rehearsal.
No, alcohol.
Mom.
Why are we calling people who want us to drink responsible? Why are we doing that?
I don't know.
I have work tomorrow.
This is what being an adult is.
And
Who's got the next question? I've got one pulled up. Unless anybody else wants to take one,
I have one pulled up.
do it. Hit it.
I cannot remember who said this because I wrote it in a note to myself to answer during the Hangout. So I'm very sorry, person who asked this. But they ask, are you finding that you need higher education to be a stage manager?
I also have a question about grad school, so maybe we can answer this together.
This is like, yeah.
Grad school question, everyone. Buckle up.
Yeah. So, okay, the grad school question. I'm in the midst of applying to grad school. Alex is in grad school. Katie went to undergrad for stage management, and Tiffany kind of said, fuck everything, and did not.
Yes, she did.
Well, specifically, I got my MFA, which means I don't necessarily need my MFA, because if you do your BA, it's open. Yes, but yes, not to steal your thunder.
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm applying to grad school is because I'm doing theater in New York, where literally everything is based on what connections you have. A lot of theater in the rest of the country, except perhaps Chicago, will have, like, you will get jobs based on your resume, based on merit, based on someone saying, hey, this person's really good. You should hire them. But no, here is, like, literally the most competitive theater in the world. And so you get jobs based on connections. I'm going to grad school. I'm paying the price tag for the label and for the connections. And I'm fully aware that I am not doing this for the education. I'm doing it for the connections. Because
I've reached to learn things.
I mean, I'm going to learn things. I am absolutely going to learn things because I am a student at heart and I will never not learn something. But I feel like I've hit a brick wall when it comes to advancing in my stage management career. I keep seeing advertisements for, like, you can come do this 2-month thing and we'll pay you $300. And I keep saying, like, okay, I can't take these anymore. What can I do? And I've tried reaching out. I've tried everything I can. I just cannot seem to break into being a PA for Finding Neverland or something like that. So I'm going to try to go to Columbia to break into these connected areas and get the formal education in stage management that I want because, like I said, I went to Sarah Lawrence. We don't have majors. And so I was never formally educated in tech theater, and I want that. That is why I'm going to grad school.
I imagine Sarah Lawrence to be a lot of, like, very beautiful fairies that also are dressed like 1900s women, like reading books in a garden. That is my image of Sarah Lawrence.
That is an accurate description.
That is all that I can say on that.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna put that on Tumblr. Thank you, Katie.
Higher education, I hate answering everything with it depends, but it does. It depends. Y'all, there's no straight answer for anything ever, period, ever. And it's going to get annoying that I say it depends all the time. But, like, it depends on where you are. For example, like Laurel just talked about, I'm in Orlando, and I graduated from UCF with just a BA in theater, not just A, with a BA in theater studies. I say just A because there was a BFA Stage Management program, there was BFA Technical, there was BFA, et cetera, et cetera. Did you just see Steve's message about making a gift that excited you?
I'm sorry.
You're fine. I was like, what the fuck is Alex laughing at me for? This rude bastard over here.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
You just messaged all of us, and it's totally throwing off our game.
Thanks, Steve. No, but really, thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's just like I'm in Orlando, and I have a BA, and I don't intend to go to grad school for anything. I don't have any desire to. I don't have any, and like there's nothing, I have no ill feelings about it. I just don't feel like I need to go. If I ever got to a point where like I wanted to teach at a college level stage management, sure, I'd go. I would need to. But like where I am totally happy with where I am. I'm totally happy doing this. So I don't feel a need to go for higher education. For college, I needed it because I didn't stage manage until my senior year. So had I not gone to college for theater and pursued stage management there, I probably would not be doing it, or I would be very, very delayed in my career. So for that, I would say yes, higher education. But as far as like grad school, etc., it's up to you.
Cool. As the lone grad school student, can I speak to this a little bit?
Please do.
Never. I mean, never. You have 4 minutes. Go.
I only took it because you were eating a cookie, and I figured it would be rude to make us watch you eat a cookie until you.
Bless you.
I'd watch him eat a cookie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Cool. So my motivation for choosing grad school was half location and half professional connections. Since I got my undergrad in Michigan, Michigan doesn't have the most lively theater scene, and I felt like coming out of Western Michigan University, which was a brilliant program, like I loved my program, I felt like with the connections that I had coming out of my undergrad, my options were either take one or two potential one-year apprenticeship programs or like internship programs, which are the sorts of things where you get paid like $200 a month, and the opportunities that were presented to me were like either they were mostly these really, really bad paychecks and the kinds of things that you would come out the other side of and just be like, all right, I did that for a year. What the hell do I do now? So, and I sort of talked about this at the last Hangout, but one of my artistic lines in the sand is I won't work for free. I didn't have the professional connections to be able to move to New York, to Chicago, to LA, and just start working for free to get my foot in the door and then start working up to a paid position. So I felt like grad school would be a really good opportunity for me to move somewhere else, get in kind of a safe place, fill in some of the holes in my undergrad, as well as get a lot of really cool professional connections. And honestly, so far since I've been here, I mean, I've finished one quarter and I'm into my second now, and the amount of connections that have come my way just by passively being here are incredible. Like I've been really busy and I haven't really been able to actively like, let me touch base with the Rogue Theater Ensemble, let me touch base with Cornerstone Theater. I haven't been able to actively pursue stuff. So just the amount of connections that have just passively come my way of people saying, hey Alex, would you be down to do this really cool thing, is incredible. Like my summer gig, a gig I got at Laguna Beach, there's some really cool shit that's come my way just by being here. So I really think the grad school system is, I think it's good and it's worthwhile if you need it. I was in a situation where I needed it, but like Tiffany mentioned, she's completely happy doing what she's doing. She's not in a situation where she needs it. I mean, maybe 10, 15 years down the line, she's like, maybe I want to teach. So maybe she'll like go to grad school and get an MFA so she can be a teacher. Who knows? But if you're able to do the work you want to do without an MFA, do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing I'll say is the baby BFA person here, If you are getting your BFA, if you have gotten your BFA, do not get your MFA in the same thing. It is a waste of your time. Get it in something else if you're going to get it. That is all I have to say on that. Your BFA, if you do your MFA after getting your BFA, you will be repeating a lot of things just pragmatically. You'll be taking a lot of the same kind of classes, and that is a waste of everyone's time.
Yeah.
So,
oh my god.
There are people that have asked me that sort of thing, and I'm like, no. If you have done the work for your BFA, do not do your MFA in the same thing. Like, the only way I would say if you have a BFA and you want to get an MFA is if it is in something different. Other than that, do not. It is a waste. That is all I have to say. And the timer went off.
Wait, can I just comment on that really quickly as like backup proof to what you just said?
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of schools will offer like undergrads can take grad student classes, and all that means is that undergrads and grad students are taking the same class, which is wonderful, which is really great for both undergrads and grad students. It, however, means you are taking the same classes as a grad student. You really don't need to go to grad school for the same thing if you are taking those classes as an undergrad, and that is proof in the pudding. The end.
My senior year of college, half, if not more, of my classes were attended by the seniors, sometimes juniors, and all of the grad students. Like, I was taking the equity class, I was taking the stage management special project class, I was taking the seminar class, I was taking all of this shit. And
all of these classes for the first year of the syllabus at Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. In a BFA, you're taking 300, 400 level classes by your senior year, which is where grad students are also.
Mm-hmm.
And do not waste everyone's time and your time. Respect yourself enough to not go to grad school if you have your BFA.
Ooh, God.
I'm mean. I'm a mean drunk today.
You are. Hey, I'll change my color for you.
And honestly, like, I've been in grad school for about a quarter and a half now. None of my classes have included undergrads.
Oh, really?
All of them have been graduate specific.
In my school, there were a lot of grads. So.
Fair enough.
And my experience in that is limited. I've not toured other grad schools. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get more to drink, and also some water, because Becca told me to drink water, and I do everything she does because she is my Ann Perkins.
My girlfriend brought me our Chicago glass that we got when we went and saw Chicago together for Thanksgiving. No, Valentine's Day last year.
Similar. Love of food. We're all in there.
Water?
So, someone else start a question. I will be right back.
I can pull one up.
Hit it.
When we get to it.
Oh my god, look at Katie while she's gone. She's just the best, right?
She's so beautiful. Her makeup is really on point tonight.
Really is. And she called me Faye. No one's ever done that before.
Okay. QTQ Steve asked, what's something unusual in our stage management kit, and how did it get there? I'm going to take this one real quick by saying that... Did you hear the question, Katie?
Yeah, I heard the question. I live in a small apartment.
Oh, okay. I'm going to take it by saying I have little to nothing in my stage management kit right now because the two shows that I worked on over the summer and the one that I worked on in the fall completely depleted all of my supplies. So I don't have very much in there right now. I can't. The weirdest thing may be like an open candy bar, and it got there because I didn't walk to the trash can during tech.
We're all prepared for this, so
I'm trying to figure out what the weirdest thing in here might be. It might be my sonic screwdriver, but everyone knows about that one because that post went super viral.
I miss my sonic screwdriver. I think it's one of my books.
Can I just mention, like, I didn't want to put this on that post because it felt like I would be usurping it, but my sonic screwdriver is also a ballpoint pen.
Wow. Yeah, mine's like that too. Does yours have the U thing too? The other one that is... Yes.
Yeah, I lost that one, though.
I'm sad. Sad.
I think the strangest thing in here right now is floppy disks.
To the light board?
Light boards.
Yeah, because so many light boards still use floppy disks.
Which
But,
how
like
is
I
that still
carry,
a
like,
thing?
I pull them out and people are like, "Why the fuck do you have that?" I also have like a connector. I have a USB connector that connects, like, you can put your floppy disk in the thing and it connects to USB, so you can put it on your computer and back it up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I have the ETC home programming program thing, so you can program lights at home
Cool.
and then bring it to the light board.
I've programmed lights at home, but I took the board home. College
Yeah.
was weird. That was weird. Freshman year was a weird time.
What else is weird in here? I have paper clips that are shaped like ducks.
Oh, they're shaped like Alex.
Alex, you're a duck now. That should happen.
Like
Cool with that.
Ducky Alex.
Cool with that.
Yeah, sure.
My name in high school was Ducky.
Oh.
I can see that.
I'm gonna drop that there.
Oh, no.
I think the weirdest thing that's in my kit, though my kit is currently in the closet in my parents' house in Pittsburgh, which is not where I am, is a tennis ball, which I've used to distract the director by throwing it, and they would run and get it.
That's another way to use it.
Yeah, I use it to pick up scuff marks on linoleum and
Yeah.
rolling out your back during tech because life is hard.
Oh God, yes.
Firefly.
This is a USB. It's a USB. I have my little Serenity on here. I also just recently got, for Christmas, the USB that's shaped like Serenity.
Damn, bro. Serenity on Serenity on
I don't think you quite...
It's gonna be precious.
You know what's stored on here?
Hmm?
You know what's stored on here? The
What?
entire series of Firefly, all 14 episodes. It fits perfectly. This is 8 gigs. To fit the entire series is 7.8 gigs. So
I'll bet you they planned that.
Mm-hmm. They're smart.
I also keep honey in my kit, like in the little packets, like you get at diners.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had some actors who have had diabetic issues, and if they go, I forget what the fancy word is, but if their blood sugar is low, honey is the fastest way to get that back up, faster than Gatorade or crackers or whatever. So it's something helpful to have. It helps the voice.
Ketosis. It ends in ketosis. The actual word of it does.
Someone will comment with the answer.
They
I'm
will.
sorry
Yeah.
if that is not helpful, but I've never had to use it for my diabetic actors, thank God, because that would be so scary. But it's nice to have just as backup, and then also because I've worked with a lot of singers, they often need honey for the voice.
Right.
okay, and this is my electrics toolkit because I also work as an electrician.
Kinky.
All the fun toys.
I feel the need to point out that this is my screwdriver.
Oh, Steve just messaged us and said that his sonic screwdriver is an actual screwdriver. You guys see the same
He's
one?
trying to one-up me. It won't happen because this is Phillips and flathead, 3 different sizes, 2 different ends on each of them. Everyone has this one, but I love it because my brother gave it to me.
Aww.
I also
Alex,
have
what do you got? Oh.
that nobody else seems to know about, which makes me kind of angry because this is a zip tie gun.
Email just went off.
That's probably me.
I don't know why people don't know about zip tie guns because they're the most useful thing ever.
That's pretty badass.
Right? So you wrap the zip tie around whatever the fuck you need it to, then you put the tail in this end, and you squeeze it.
And it cinches
and the more
it.
it cinches it as tight as it will go, and then it cuts it for you, and it cuts it right next to the little square base, so you don't cut yourself on it later.
That's so cool.
So helpful.
I love
Quite
this thing.
impressive.
I'd say probably the weirdest thing in my kit is a sewing needle pin cushion that's the shape of a tomato.
Excellent.
I don't have it with me because my kit is in the SM office on campus. But yeah. It's a lot of just simple, weirdo, homeopathic shit. And then random, like, hex key sets. It's a bunch of little like, rando stuff. But yeah, probably the strangest thing, like, if you open up my kit and go, what the fuck is that? Probably just the little, like, tomato pin cushion. Which I got in my stagecraft class in my undergrad.
My mom has like 40 of those that's hanging around the house because she's a seamstress. She was at one point in her life.
And like my favorite is that it's got a little like bob on the tail, like the stem of it has a little like strawberry shaped thing. That's like a pin sharpener.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
It's different than I expected.
It's just like a little like strawberry shaped thing, and you just like poke a pin in it a few times, and it's like a sharpener. I don't know. It's some weird science. I don't get it.
It's crazy, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember in Halloween Town the character in Halloween Town that was a pincushion? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's what I just thought about now that we're talking about Alex's pincushion.
Hello, Halloween. I don't like Halloween as a holiday that much, but I will watch the shit out of some Halloween Town.
Oh, hells yeah.
I got nothing.
How are we not over time for this question?
I don't know.
We still have
Can't even set a timer.
seconds left, so good job, y'all.
Wow.
I did start a
Okay.
discussion away from the first question because I realized people were answering it. So
That's fine. Who's got the next one?
who hasn't done one in a while?
Me, I guess.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Leftover or fresh?
You did fresh
You
last
were
time.
short.
All right, let's go
Leftover.
leftovers. Cool. Okay. Let me go really, really general. I have a question from Anonymous, which says, "Any tips for an ASM?"
That is open-ended.
Like,
Very-
wow, where do we start?
I think, hang on. I'm trying to think of a fun way to answer this one because it is so general and we'll just ramble for forever.
Mm-hmm.
Do we just each say something? Do we go down our little line, our little Alex, Katie, Laurel, me line, and each of us just say one thing?
Yes.
And we just add on like that?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, Alex, start because you have the first
Okay.
question.
Cool. I would say try to strike a balance between independence and communication. If you can find a way to handle shit on your own while also finding exactly when you need to report back and communicate with your stage manager, you will be like the most golden ASM in the world.
Write shit down and trust your instincts.
Write shit down.
Write it down. Write it down. Don't forget things, write it down. That's my advice for everything ever, basically.
Fair enough.
Write it down, because I'm so bad at it. And I constantly need to remind myself, through other people, write it down. Laurel?
So, did you ever take an improv class?
Mm-hmm.
Because if
It's
you
legit.
did, you learned that the first rule. I find that to be just the idea that yes, this is happening, and let's move on to the next thing, and we will deal with it, and also do this other thing. Just the yes and during rehearsals, during tech, during performances, everything you need to be able to improvise. And I just realized that.
Yes, please. Sorry, Amy Poehler is everything to me. I love her so much.
That's adorable. So yeah, improvise. Yes, and.
Learn how to bake cookies occasionally.
You make a good point.
I think you guys covered all the important things, so I had to cover the selfish one. Bake cookies.
Bring Tiffany cookies.
Bring me offerings. No, but seriously, I think Alex's was the nail on the head for me. That is my pet peeve when I have an ASM who has to refer back to me to everything. Like unless I don't trust the ASM, which is I've never really had that issue before, but it's like you got this. You're a pro. I trust you. You're gonna handle it, and you're gonna let me know when you need help. Otherwise, go. You do you. I don't care what you do backstage as long as it gets the show done and it's safe. You can let me know later, but you don't need to ask me because I don't know. I just don't know what's going on back there. You do, so I trust your judgment.
I think there's also an element of protecting isn't the right word, but sort of keeping the stage manager as informed as they need to be, because sometimes you can just do shit on your own and tell the stage manager later, such and such broke, I fixed it, it went on, I'll talk to props tomorrow about fixing it.
Yes,
Or
yeah.
after the show and about fixing it, and like instead of being like, this broke, please, what do I do? Being able to fix it in the moment and being able to come up with a solution, and being able to come to your stage manager already thinking the first 2 steps ahead, being like, okay, we have another show in 20 minutes, we don't have time to fix it, I can pull another thing and it'll be ready for tomorrow, is so much more helpful than holding a broken prop and crying.
Yep.
Yeah. Solve the problem, get it to your SM in notes.
Yes. Exactly.
Cool.
Yes.
I need to bounce real quick to grab another drink because my beer ran out.
Oh, no
So,
beer.
I will be back in like 5.
Bye forever.
Okay, now we have to talk about Alex. Isn't his hair so good today?
You're so good today.
Hair is so good. He must have been eating a lot of burritos. He has a glow about him.
A burrito glow?
A burrito glow.
Burritos are pregnant, and that's how it always is with the glow.
A pregnant burrito, like a burrito is shaped like this, and then it has little baby.
It's got a little baby bump.
Burrito.
It's got a taco lash onto it.
Yeah.
If you have followed me for even like a week, you know that my burrito love is forever and eternal, and is so much. So that is.
He does really like burritos.
Yes, I like breakfast burritos.
Ooh.
But only if they're like super white girl breakfast burritos and not spicy in the least bit.
That's fair. We all have our needs.
Yeah. No, we do have to talk some shit on Alex, though. Just kidding. He's a great person. I can't even think
I
of
could
shit.
never talk shit about Alex.
Yeah, I don't know. I confused him and Neo Trotsky earlier, so
You
oops.
did. I knew that's what you did. You were like, don't you work with audio? And I was like, no, the only other guy that we follow on Tumblr does, though. So.
I will say this about Alex, though, because he told me this a couple of days ago, and it, like, made my heart explode in joy. So he toured my undergrad, like, about this time last year, because he was looking at my undergrad for grad school, and he didn't end up going there. For reasons I'm sure he will discuss later. But he did tell me that when he first met me, he thought I was a walking Parks and Rec episode. And I was like, that's the nicest anyone has ever said to me. So
Hey.
my heart got 3 sizes that day. Like the Grinch.
Another Alex who follows me, but they go by non-gender pronouns, who I think also does sound. I don't know.
I don't know. He's back.
So other Alex, if you're still following me and or see this video, I don't know, let me know if I'm totally mistaken.
Laurel is like red right now. I don't know what Laurel's deal is.
It's really hot in this apartment.
Because you're there.
Committed to keeping this shirt on.
Please keep your shirt on. This is for the photo.
Did I miss something?
No.
Not at all.
Nothing.
We talked shit about you like we talked shit about Katie.
You bitch!
What shit on that? It's been gone for that long.
I thought it was a small apartment. I thought you were here.
New question.
Katie, find a question.
I have a new one. Hold on, is my okay. This is from Tumblr user Unintentional Genius. Hey you. No wait, we already answered this one. My B. Here's another one.
Katie's
Sorry, this
drunk.
This is going great.
Yeah. I am drunk. Unintentional Genius. She asked me. They. Sorry, asked me about grad school, but we did kind of talk about that. So here is one from Tumblr user Anonymous. What was your worst malfunction / technical difficulty during the show? And I will kick it to someone else because I need to go get my prop for this. So take it away.
I got this.
Do it.
I got
probably the best possible show to have this problem in. Noise is off.
Oh God.
2 stories in this. I'll make them short. I learned 20 minutes before GO that the actor who was to play the director of Noise is Off could not make it for a performance.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Buh? Yeah. So yeah, 20 minutes before GO.
Was he in another country?
No, a family member passed away. You should feel bad.
About 20 minutes before?
Yep. So fun. That was real fun. Yeah, he had been late, and we had been like sending texts and calling and being like, "Hey, where the hell are you?" And then the director, the real director of the show, called me 20 minutes before GO and was like, "So listen." So luckily we had an understudy for the role who was on run crew for the show. So
An interesting choice.
yeah, kind of a strange choice, but I mean it kind of makes sense because once we get into performances, the understudies are just kind of around, so it's easier to have someone come in and fill a crew member track than it is to bring someone cold in who hasn't seen the show in a long time. So, yeah, 20 minutes before GO, we learned, oh, hey, so this is happening. So we basically held house for 10 minutes after GO, so that way we could rehearse Act 2, because Act 2 was the one we were worried about. Act 1, the director is primarily in the house, and he's just kind of bouncing back and forth between the house and the stage. Act 2 is the physical comedy and the silent act, and it's when all of the really dangerous shenanigans happen. So we spent from 20 minutes to GO to 10 minutes after scheduled GO rehearsing Act 2 on the set with the actors, getting that act in the actor's body. And it was a lot. It was a lot of me running from front of house to stage, checking in with the actors. The actors in my ASM were primarily leading that rehearsal, and then I would run downstairs to make sure costumes was ready with costumes that would fit. Luckily, the understudy was approximately the same body shape, height as the actual actor, so it actually went really well. And we went 10 minutes before GO. Or went 10 minutes after scheduled GO, and I just had to make a little announcement before the show. Hey, for tonight's performance, the role of what's the director's name? It's gone. The role of the director.
One syllable. It's like West or something. It's
it's gone. It's gone. But yeah, I just made an announcement before the thing, and it actually went pretty well. So that was a thing. We really just had to shift some light cues. The most technical thing that went wrong was another show. We had a set that was on a turntable, and at one point when we were shifting into Act 3, doing a 180-degree turn of the turntable, one of the upstage right, or I'm sorry, the downstage right corners of a wall unit got caught on a swag on one of the electrics. So all of a sudden, I hear my ASM backstage. Mind you, I'm in the booth. I hear my ASM go, hold, 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 hold.
Oh, that's fun. That's what you want to hear. You want to hear that.
Yeah, that's great. That's scary.
Clutch me your pearls.
Uh-huh. Yeah, mind you, this was the first real show that my ASM had worked on. So if she's shitting her pants, I'm like, oh man, this is bad. So she stopped the rotation and got a bunch of people lined up. And luckily, the way that theater was set up was we had a giant loading door next to our scene shop. So a bunch of the giant A-frame ladders are right next to the loading door. So she just got crew, grabbed the giant A-frame, grabbed a broom, got it all the way over, grabbed a broom, and unfucked the little cable swag. And got it moving. And it was actually really funny. Once we completed the rotation, the entire audience was like... They loved it. Because the audience was in on it. They all knew something was going wrong. So, because with that show, the audience hangs out and watches the rotations because that's part of the show. So once they saw something was wrong, and once we fixed it, they're like, "Fuck yeah, way to go, team!"
Way to be.
Yeah, it was great. It was wild. Good show.
I have mine, if anyone else.
Hit it.
So mine has props, and that is something... I actually was just explaining this to one of the other apprentices here the other day. But, so, I don't know if y'all can see this, but this is a keychain that is on my keys. and it is a twisted, sad piece of metal.
Mhm.
But it was not always that way. It was once upon a time a straight piece of metal.
I turned it.
Huh?
I turned it.
Hey-o. Good.
That was good. That was good.
Good. You did it.
Listen.
Katie doesn't even know what to say.
Liz Lockwood's Dracula, which is different than other Draculas.
Blackula?
Dracula!
Oh, damn.
In the sense that it is a lot more told from the perspective of the women in Dracula. I've not read Dracula, so I cannot really attest to that. But it was super weird. It was a super weird play. And it was designed by a class of people in my undergrad, so you can imagine how well that went. But one of the sort of central things to it was there was this bed platform thing that would raise up on hydraulics from the stage floor, and it was on. There was like pieces on the side, so it was just like a box that came up and came down, and all during Act 1 it would come up and come down as different beds in the Westerman household where the chicks lived, Dracula's castle, Dracula. And then at the end of Act 2, Dracula, spoiler alert, would die and would die on it, and then at the end he would his body would be lifted up on this thing, and that was the end of the play. So it's really up and down a lot during Act 1, and then Act 2 it's not up again until the end of the play. And we were in our last performance on the last day, and it's up at the end of Act 1, and then we take it down. We take it down during intermission, and it goes away. And when it was in the last thing that it was for Act 1, there was a bed frame, like a headboard that was put up against it and would be pinned into the sides of the platform with the pins. And there was one on the upstage side, one on the downstage side. And the way that it worked is 2 actors dressed as maids would come out, unpin it, take the headboard away, and then the stage manager would cue through a cue light system to the operator in the pit to take down things. It was all on lifts. And my stage manager, God bless him, he's a wonderful, wonderful man, took the cue early on the last day, before the actors had cleared the headboard. So the pins were still in it. And the pins are right at the stage floor. So it sunk down about 1.5 inches, made a horrible grinding noise, and stopped. And we were like, shit. So everyone else is going about their intermission scene change as per. There's not a lot in that show, in that intermission, aside from lowering the bed and taking out a window or something. So luckily, since it's the last day, the TD was in the building ready for strike. So we were like, bro, please come help us. He ended up, long story short, he ended up muscling the platform, which is about 6 feet long and 3 feet wide, back up enough for the actors to wiggle the pins out. Mind you, they now look like this. There were 2 of them. Get the headboard off stage, and then muscle the thing back down into the lowered position so that it's the same level as the stage floor. But he has essentially broken the entire hydraulic system in order to do that, and has totally ripped up all of the facing on the upstage side of the bed, which luckily no one can see. So we're running around doing this, and then also laundry has to be changed. And what I love about this is no one knew this had happened. None of the actors knew except for the guy that plays Van Helsing, because he's not in Act 1. So he would just hang out backstage during intermission, causing trouble and getting into character or whatever the fuck. So he's
whatever those people do,
watching all of us be very calm on stage, going on stage and looking at things, adjusting, holding something, running back off stage and being like, fuck, everything is terrible. And not having to extend intermission longer than the typical 15 minutes. and kept going. The only changes is that the platform did not come up at the end for Dead Dracula. It just stayed on the floor, which we told him about. But like none of the actors knew until after the show that there had actually been any problems. But it was this whole like scrambling, crazy, but like trying to be calm because the whole scene change happens al vista. So like we couldn't be on stage like panicking and freaking out. So we were like we'd panic and freak out on stage and then calmly walk on stage and fix the problem and calmly walk off and then freak out. But the other ASM and I now have twisted metal pins that used to be straight that we carry with us from Dracula, and that was like 2 years ago. And also they make stabbing weapons if you're ever needing to stab someone.
Oh my god, Katie.
Wolverine the hell out of that, so.
I started following you when you were just starting Dracula.
You did! That was like a million years ago.
Oh my god. Wow, okay.
Yep. There was a lot that happened with Dracula. But that was with my work husband, or my work brother. It's nebulous. But but yeah, it was a fun show. There's a lot that happened on that show. And that was just like the icing on the cake of like, what other goddamn weird thing can happen? And it was this. So that's my story.
I
can't. Yes.
I have two really good ones.
Mm-hmm.
For one of them, I was in the audience, actually, and this was when I was in London, and I went and saw The Tempest with Ray Fiennes as Prospero. He was fucking brilliant. Either way, it was directed by Trevor Nunn, who was also just, like, fucking brilliant. Anyway, there was, like, a lot of tech involved in this production, like, deceptively a lot of tech. The stage looked really simple, but then as you got further and further into the play and more magical elements came out of it, like, gods started flying in, they kept the wedding scene, which no director ever keeps in The Tempest, and I was really happy with it because I'd never seen it on stage before. And so they had Juno and Diana and Isis all like coming down from the ceiling, except they only had that after about a 20-minute unplanned intermission where they said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are very sorry, but that we have some technical difficulties." And we just heard, like, the entire audience, the curtains were closed at that point, and the entire audience just heard this awful grinding sound.
Oh,
fun. And so about 20 minutes later, the curtain opened again to a blank stage, and we all cheered. And then, smooth as can be, the two goddesses came down in their golden chariots, and Ferdinand and Miranda were all happy and in love, and it was really great. But that was one of those days where it was like, wow, they are 9 days away from closing. This is not even previews. And their shit went sideways. So it's proof that it can happen at any time. The next one that I have, I was the board op, same devised piece, but part of the set was a broken oven. And we had hollowed it out and cleaned it out and spent a lot of time on this oven and making this oven into a puppet, into a character. And it was really, really cool. And we had a bare bulb dangling in it, and we thought, like, what? It's a 90-watt bulb? Like, what harm can that do inside an oven? Turns out it can light the damn thing on fire.
What?
So,
no!
Oh!
No! That's
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
No!
We apparently missed something entirely, and we can't figure out what we missed, but the thing was it was smoking.
You
2 minutes from the
turned an easy
end.
bake oven into an inferno.
No, it was not an easy bake oven. It was a really old cast iron oven. So we did possibly the most irresponsible thing in the world, and we just kind of let it go until the show ended.
No!
Okay.
We opened it and saw that the bulb was perfectly intact. The bulb was working just fine. It's just that, like, something on the floor of the oven had started smoking. It was like, and then it was on fire, and then it was out of fire because we saw the carbon, we saw the smoke. And we thought, well, we're just kind of not use that light in the next two performances because we want to make sure that it doesn't get set on fire anymore. But something actually got set on fire during a show.
Good.
That was a story that I now have.
That's terrifying.
I'm
I
into it.
can't. I'm knocking on wood. I have nothing horribly disastrous that has ever happened to me. I worked on a production of Chasing George Washington in fall of 2012, and the whole premise of it is that these kids are on a tour. They're in Washington D.C. They're on a tour of the White House. They come across the famous portrait of George Washington. They're all complaining about how history isn't relevant to them, and the portrait gets knocked off the wall and falls flat on its face. And when it comes back up, George Washington has disappeared, and now George Washington's alive, and he's going to take them through history, and they're going to learn lots of things. TYA is fabulous. So we get to that point, and I give the crew the cue to have the portrait slide down the wall, and then give them the cue to knock it over. The portrait didn't get knocked over, and there's just all this action around it, and there's like a fucking song, and George Washington needs to appear, and he can't appear if the portrait's not been knocked over, because then we can't see that he's disappeared. As the portrait is face down, a crew member swaps out the portraits and comes back up, and George Washington's gone. So all the actors are standing around it. I have to get up and demonstrate for you. I'm taking my earbuds out. Around it, and it falls, but nothing happens. And so I have one actor just go, bam, flip it down. Oh no! And then they continued acting. that was that.
Can I?
That was fine. They did what they had to do, right? It was ridiculous. Closing, I have another, not horribly disastrous, but it could have been. For closing of Crazy Free this summer, the kids of Youth Academy at the theater that I work at always do they give presents to all the adult staff who are on the show. So we close the show, applause, 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 curtain call. And what usually happens, or what we were told to do, because it's a surprise every time, but somehow stage management always gets the intel so that we can make it work. But they're like, don't worry about what it's for. I just need a mic backstage. But I don't want to tell you why. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So we bring the curtain down, and the kids who are doing the presentation come forward. As they're coming forward, the curtain comes down on them, first of all. So I've got this little, 5-foot-tall girl getting stuck under a curtain. They're like, no, hold, we got to pull that up. And my kid working the fly rail is a student, because that's what we do over the summer. And she goes, wait, what do you mean hold? Stop. Stop and pull it back out, please. So he starts pulling it back out, and everything's fine. And then this poor little actor's foot is caught in the curtain, and slowly just starts going back out, just going. Hold. I need you to stop. Hold. Okay, let me stop it. And she got her foot out, and nobody was hurt, but it sure was caught on film, because we always film the closing performance.
No!
That is on film for the rest of that girl's life. And those are my stories.
Bless her heart.
Kind of a curtain to save a chair, but that's not nearly as interesting. Though it was kind of on film, but the guy was saying it's a very, very metal action shot of me dashing on stage to grab a chair before being crushed by a curtain.
I've seen that metal action shot of you.
Yeah, it's on the internet.
Yeah. I have a really funny Hold story where during Puppet Titus Andronicus,
my favorite thing you've ever.
It is the greatest thing. I fucking love that show. I still love that show so fucking
I get so
much.
jealous every time you bring it up because it sounds so fun.
It was so much fun. I loved it. Anyway, we condensed the entire first act into one 8-minute long song, because the entire first act is one scene, and it's a bunch of crazy exposition. As you know, we've been fighting this war for 10 years. Yes, and as you know, I lost 21 sons to this war. Yes, and as you know that
sons to just lose to a war. The shit is that?
Titus Andronicus does. Yeah. Anyway, at the end of the song, there was this really great little caesura, where this one chord was playing, and the director decided that during that chord, the people on stage should taunt each other. And so the actors decided that with Titus on one side and Tamara on the other, they should be the generals of their respective armies on each side of the stage, regardless of who the characters actually belong to. So Tamara would say things like, "Come on, get him!" And Titus would say, like, "Wait for my signal!" and things like that. And during the final run of this song, before we went up on opening night, Titus decided to say, "Hold! Hold!" And I "Wah!" Like, there were no words coming out of my mouth, but I was trying to figure out what was wrong from, like, 12 feet up in the booth where I could not access the stage. And eventually they went forward and I figured out nothing was actually wrong. He was just in character and being an idiot.
No! Don't say hold in character! We get very stressed out!
It's very hard for
I
us.
mean,
Just don't.
like, it was only a rehearsal, so it was all fine.
It was
but,
a
like,
what?
it was one of those. I went on
Wait.
God Mike. It was just like, "Hey Adam, how do you feel about not saying hold again?" And he just went, "I'm good. It's fine. I'm really sorry." But that was funny. While I have the floor, I have a really quick thing to say. So, dear anonymous person who asked me to take my shirt off, that's really fucking inappropriate, and I do not appreciate it. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
None of that, friends. Or foes.
None of that shit here.
No.
I was on pause.
My girlfriend says that she seconds the non-appreciation of that.
Marge
Marg.
will fuck you up. She
Yeah.
will come into your house and destroy you. I don't know her, but that seems like something she would be willing to do.
I would supply her with a knife.
Because we love Laurel.
We members of the SMblr community may love boobs, but we also respect those boobs.
Respect
We
the
do.
and the peen.
Just love and respect all of it.
If you don't have either boobs or penis, you're still worthy of respect.
I mean, yeah.
You respect
Of course.
people. And the boobs
The
attached.
genitals were the object in question in this case.
Yeah, just
Yes.
So yes.
end of PSA. Going back to boobs now.
Also, your shirt is super cute. Why would you take it off?
Let's be practical.
Yeah, exactly.
Nincorp asked us a question in the live things.
Oh, cool.
If I had a mustache right now, it would be right here. He asked,
I can make that.
so I have a question if you are taking them in chat. Sure. Although I want to go into stage management directly, I'm currently taking classes that involve all types of technical theater areas, i.e. sound, lights, scene
Hell
design,
yeah.
and even makeup. Have you found that taking these courses or having that experience would be a useful addition, or would having more stage management experience be better when it comes to getting jobs? All of those classes, yes, those are super helpful. Taking a class in stage management is great because you can meet up with other people, and there's a stage manager. There is an adult professional stage manager who has insight into it. But I feel like stage management is something that mustache.
Hey, you did it. You did. That's
I feel like stage management is something that is like super hardcore learned by doing. Like, it's that way with a lot of things in theater, but I feel like you can learn the basics of technical theater and sound. Alex can't take me seriously because of this mustache right now. Respect the face. Respect the face.
What's happening to me? What's
Oh
happening?
no, Katie's got like a BDSM collar on right now. Shit's getting weird.
Nice.
We are almost in hour 2. We didn't even make it 2 hours before stuff got
fuck
weird.
yeah, I got a bow.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I need to
Laura,
put something on you.
Yeah, someone else has to put something on me. I can't do myself.
I'll do it. I'll do
Dress
it.
yourself. Dress yourself, Laurel. Have some decency. But yeah, it's taking a class in stage management would be ideal, but like learn by doing. Offer to run. See if you can run crew. See if you can shadow an ASM. All of that stuff is incredibly helpful in being a stage manager, and no one's going to look at you and say, "Oh, you took technical theater classes instead of stage management classes." Poo-poo. No one's going to do that to you because no one says poo-poo in real life.
Exactly, and like
Benny and Rent.
True.
and like one of the best things that you'll get out of those classes is you'll get a vocabulary. God damn it, this fucking bow.
seriously,
I just nodded and my mustache
So
stayed in one
sorry.
place, so it's okay. I feel you.
I'm goddamn adorable, and I'm gonna keep it.
You are.
But yeah, like by taking these stage makeup classes, lighting classes, sound, anything, you're going to gain an increased vocabulary with these particular departments, and that will help you so much.
Yeah.
So once you get down the line, you get into tech rehearsals, and you're learning. Okay, so this one particular actor. Okay, say you're doing McBeasy, and you've got an actor that
So
has like
you're doing what now?
McBeasy, McBee, Mackie and the Boys, Macbeth.
Oh.
Take your pick.
All right, I feel you. All right. Yep. All right.
So say you're doing Macbeth and you've got a lot of blood work, like a lot of blood effects in the show. You crackled in and out. I didn't catch any of that.
Are we gonna have a problem?
Oh no.
You keep saying the name.
Or else gonna kill you. It's gonna happen.
Macbeth.
We're not in a theater.
Macbeth, come at me. I don't care.
I'm really superstitious.
But we're
I'm
not
a little
in the theater. Come off it.
Keep
But
drinking.
anyway,
Drink your juice,
so-
Shelby. Drink your juice,
Regardless,
Shelby.
so even if you're doing a show that has a lot of blood effects, your background in stage makeup, your experience there will allow you to both diagnose and troubleshoot and fix problems on the fly that you might not be able to fix if you didn't have that background. Say you're a light board operator and in the middle of a performance, all of a sudden one of your lights goes out. You can find, like, if you've got some lighting experience, you can diagnose that problem and find a better solution to it, or find a different way to fix that problem a lot faster than someone without that experience. I mean, obviously your SM is hopefully going to have like a magic sheet or something so they can diagnose a problem. But if you've got an experience, your experience will never harm you. Your experience will never get in the way. It can only serve you. So take those classes, learn about stage makeup, learn about lighting, learn about sound, carpentry, anything you can. It will all serve you.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Yeah.
carpentry. I never took a carpentry class. I kind of seriously regret it. I'm scared of power tools. I don't know how to use them. Someone else who does is more useful than I am.
Yeah, I did not care for the acting classes I took freshman year of college, but it wasn't until junior year when I was talking to my director, who had also been my acting teacher. I was like, oh, that's what you meant by given circumstances 2 years ago. Oh, I get it now. And it makes you a better theater professional generally.
Yeah.
You're able to understand at least a small fraction of what your actors are doing as far as getting into character or sort of what they need in rehearsal, because then you can talk to the director and be like, so-and-so is really having a hard time, with the specific scene for these specific reasons. Can we work with her and you for 45 minutes tomorrow? I think that would really help. Because the more that you understand where they are in their process and where they're trying to get there, makes you a better facilitator between what an actor is trying to visualize and what the director is asking for, if that makes sense. And then also you can be like, oh, I get it, I get what you're trying to do, and it makes everything so much more better. So
much more better.
More better. What is this? What are these effects? Sorry, I get so easily.
But yeah, I mean, and that's why so many degree tracks will have you. If you're a technical theater student at a university, you're going to take an acting class. You're going to take classes that aren't necessarily specific to your degree, but they're going to be helpful. They're not making you do it because they like seeing you suffer. There's a reason.
And in the perfect world, people are taking the acting classes. Everyone, tech and actors, are taking them as seriously as actors and techs are taking the tech classes, because that was something that my school was not good at, where all the actors would be blowing up the tech classes. And I'm like, bro, it's super helpful if you know what this means. It's knowing enough about everything helps everyone. So if techs know a lot about actors, that helps. If actors know a lot about techs, that helps. Everyone just help each other, and we will get through magical times together.
We will.
I'm very
Katie's gonna
The
start
anonymous
crying.
person who requested that I take my shirt off has apologized, and so thank you, anonymous person. I understand where you were coming from. It's just, I'm not going to take my shirt off on the internet for you.
How can you understand when you're
Thank you for apologizing, and please don't do that again.
They said that, okay,
shirt
they said that, like, this one hasn't been nearly as inappropriate as the last one. I wanted to spice it up a little bit, etc., etc., and I just kind of went, no.
That's the wrong way of doing that.
Why do you do that? Like, thank you for apologizing. Everything's good, no hard feelings.
Please don't do that again.
Were we inappropriate last time? We did talk about penises a lot.
We did talk about
It was
penises.
probably my penis stories.
Oh yes, that is right, from your baseball show. Baseball show?
Yep, baseball show.
Oh.
I think. I'm smart at that.
Marcus,
I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm cute as fuck with this multicolored bow right now.
You're wicked cute.
I'm into it.
I'm gonna
This is
slam
cool.
it.
Or is that just something we're talking about? Can they see that? Steve, please tell us if you can see that. Or Becca, I think you're watching too. Please tell
No,
us.
I think everyone can see them. I'm
That's-
pretty positive.
That's fantastic.
I'm slamming the rest of this drink, and then I'm pouring some more, because I'm not nearly as drunk as I need to be.
Get it!
Somebody pull up a new
Tiffany.
question.
It's been a minute
just
since I've
my
done
name.
one. Should I do one?
Yeah, my name instead.
Go for it.
Okay. I'm gonna give you guys the eternal question: fresh or leftover?
you did leftover last time, fresh this time.
Okay. Okay. So, do we want a question that we can all answer, or do we want a question that I need to hand off to you guys?
I don't know what that means.
Well, I got
Guys,
an anonymous
I'm-
question. I got an anonymous question that asks tips on eyebrow filling in / shaping,
Oh,
which I will have to defer to y'all.
hey, your eyebrow game is strong, but you know.
But it's
cross
au
access-
And then just do
naturel.
it.
It's
All right.
like it's au naturel. I don't touch these bad boys.
See, so that's
I'll
the
take
tip.
this real quick. I'll take this real quick. If Groucho Marx married Brooke Shields, that child would have my eyebrows.
You have very
And-
thick hair.
You just need
You
to.
broke my brush.
I got my duck rooms, and I'm gonna write the quadratic formula in them because I'm that much of a Princess Diaries nerd.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We all had
All-
very different reactions to that.
Dude. Princess Mia went to Sarah Lawrence.
She did. I forgot about that. So
Ugh.
anyway, eyebrows. Get a good tweezer. Like, don't spend a shit ton of money, but like Revlon makes nice tweezers. Get a white eyeshadow pencil and just sort of shape where you want your eyebrows to look, and then just pull them all up. It's gonna hurt, and your face is gonna turn really red. But ice is your friend, and eventually they will look nice, and you only need to do
I
some
sneeze when I pluck my eyebrows. I
love yourself
every
and
time.
make your eyebrows look pretty. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
You know,
I don't know about filling in if you have not enough eyebrow, because that has never been my experience, and I cannot help you there. I've had too much eyebrow.
I
I
got
have
that.
a whole lot of eyebrow, but I fill in anyway, just because it's like, I guess that would mean that I don't have enough. It's patchy in some places, which I guess would mean that I don't have enough eyebrow. So I just,
Filling
yeah, do it.
in. So this is gonna be TMI time with Laurel a little bit. I have OCD. I get really obsessive about like things on my face, and sometimes I can feel my eyebrow hairs, and they really bother me. So I pluck them all, and it's a really bad decision on all parts because then they have to
oh,
grow
sure.
back. Anyhow, to fill eyebrows in, I tend to get an eyebrow pencil that is about 2 shades lighter than my actual eyebrows, and then I brush the opposite direction as where the eyebrow is growing in, and just make the lines as thin as you possibly can, because you can always add more. It's much more difficult to subtract once you've already added. So. And make sure that it starts in line with your like tear duct, and then the arch of your eyebrow is in line with the height of your eyes. That's really about it. Other than that, Katie's white eyebrow pencil thing is like a really brilliant idea.
It's helpful, and then also because if you get like a pencil and not like if it's an actual pencil you have to sharpen, it's usually kind of gummy, and it helps the tweezers grab the eyebrow hair a lot better. And it will hurt. Do take time with it. Don't try to do it in one day. Your eyebrows will get all splotchy and red because of the blood rushing to your face, being like, why are you pulling out my hair? So, you know, don't do it like the day before prom. Do it like the week before prom, okay? I didn't go to prom, so I really have no timeline for this. But that's, you know what I mean.
You know, like...
Belt in a day, and neither was your eyebrow game, okay? That's all I got to say on that.
You know, I'm totally going to speak to my cis-het male perspective here. I had no idea there was this much involvement of ratios and math involved in y'all's eyebrow game. I have seen killer eyebrow game, and I got mad respect for it. And like it's to the point where like if I'm at Subway and I see a girl who's got bitchin' winged eyeliner, I'll be like, hey, your eyeliner game's real on point today. Way to go. Like real life.
As a science, and you just need to figure it out. And if you screw it up, they'll grow back. It's just hair. Yep. They'll grow back, and then you can try again in a couple of weeks. It's okay. You'll just look like you have weird eyebrows for a little bit. But you know what?
And that's okay.
You can pretend to be Sean from Harry Potter.
Correct. You can pretend to be Sean from Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I had no idea there was that much involved in it. Way to go! Like that's insane. Like seriously.
Alex, I love that your experience with Tumblr has been understanding how difficult it is to be a cis girl. Like, shit is damn difficult. One, you know, trans girl also probably. Just being a girl generally is tough, and I'm glad that you.
Vagina's got it hard, man. Like, no joke.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy being.
What was your other question that wasn't about eyebrows, Alex?
Oh, fun. Let me pull that up. God, I really don't know how to pronounce this.
Spell it out.
DJ0Who hyphen tech.
I love him.
Whom I think is the person who made those doodles of us.
No, that was Alex Zeus. That was Alex hyphen Zeus.
Okay, got it.
Oh, that's now Agent Saya names.
Yeah.
Saya something.
Yeah, but yeah, I know them. They messaged me also.
So DJ0Who-tech said, for the Hangout, how many records do you guys own? I have a bunch, but as a high schooler, I think I'm a bit rare in that. So, like, basically, how many records do you own / what does your music collection look like? Because not everybody owns vinyl.
You know what I own
a record, and it is the Beauty and the Beast special release that Hot Topic did, and my roommates got it for me for Christmas.
I am 0% surprised.
That is the singular piece of vinyl in record form that I own. I own other vinyl things.
I'm going to look for that on eBay. That is how jealous I am right now.
It's beautiful. Otherwise my music is just lots and lots of iTunes things. My best friends and I used to sit around with our iPods, and we'd hook them up to my computer, and we'd take music off of the other one's iPods. We had like weekly, like people have clothing swaps now. We had music swaps with our iPods.
I feel that.
Which some people get like crotchety about. Like, that's what I get raged about when people get crotchety about music, when they're like, it's digital, you can't share, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, you're just lazy and haven't found the loopholes. You can totally share. I'll show you the iTunes library that I have that proves it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that. Next.
All of my vinyls are from my mother that I stole from my parents' basement. And being a musical theater nerd runs in the family. So it is... I think the records I don't have them with me because I have nothing to play them on, but I think I have Godspell, the original Broadway cast recording. Jesus Christ Superstar.
Sorry.
I want to say, like, Kiss of the Spider Woman, and, like, other, like, 70s, 80s musicals that, like, no one really listens to anymore. But I have all of them, and my goal is to buy a record player and start buying more records and playing them. But I don't really listen to records on the reg, per se. Though I have been listening to a lot of The Killers. That's sort of my go-to, like, pre-show prep, because they're really fun and dancey. And Florence and the Machine, for when I want to feel like a spooky princess. eating a heart of a man that I have loved.
Guys, Mark just brought me ice cream.
Thanks, Mark.
What is the cute? Yeah, with that. That's so cute.
Every time someone brings up the Killers, I get really excited for a second because I think they're talking about the Kills, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't.
Not the Killers. They constantly make me feel like I'm driving through the desert in like a convertible. Then I'm gonna go kill a man in Las Vegas.
Katie, you need to watch the music video for Dustland Fairy Tale.
I do probably because I have not watched a lot of them.
I love that music video. I love that song.
I love whichever one it is that Diana Agron is like now suddenly Brandon Flowers, and I watched that episode. And I was like, I like girls. That is happening. There we are. Welcome to the party.
A journey of self-discovery.
Yay!
And I was like, Diana Agron and then that Billettes. Girl! So,
Katie, this handshake is for you. It is to welcome you to the Girls Appreciation Club.
Girl, I've been appreciating girls for like at least a year now.
Okay, the Girls Appreciating Girls Club.
Because everyone is beautiful, essentially. I want to kiss all of your faces.
I have record stories.
Do it.
So my roommate is like the most avid records collector I've ever met. She has like every record from the 70s ever. She's really into prog rock, which is also when like records made it big.
Yes.
She has all of those. I have one record total, and it is the original record of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs when it first came out. And I got it.
Yes.
I got it because there was a show that I was doing called Revenge and Guilt, and it was all about like music and music history.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, a little bit. Do you want to come say hi?
Yeah.
This is my roommate. Her name is Maggie.
Hi.
She's the one who has like every record ever.
I sold a copy of Pretzel Logic yesterday.
Yeah, you did. She works at a record store. Anyway, so I have this record because of this show that I did that needed records strewn about the stage for the set. And I was the one who was setting them up and breaking them down every night, and I had to do it in less than 15 minutes, and it made me really happy when I could actually do it. And so I said, all right, when all this is said and done, I think we should each get to keep one record from this set. And the director who supplied the records said, yeah, sure, go ahead. I don't have any use for these. So I took the only one that I recognized, and it was the Snow White one.
That's adorable. I love it.
Yay.
Also, I'm ordering that Beauty and the Beast record right now.
It's beautiful.
I think my record collection's kind of cool. It's also sad because it's in Michigan. When I was moving out here to California, Tiffany, it's really fun watching you chase that mustache.
The mustaches. Can we shave this mustache? It's getting in the way of my sad lip.
Yeah.
Alright,
So when I moved out here, space in my car was very limited. So
car twins. I feel that.
Oh.
I'm buying a car.
To,
That's all I have to say.
Basically, I didn't have room for my record collection in my car, so half of my records are back at my house in Kalamazoo, which is where my best friend lives. So he has some of them.
Hi, Phil.
Phil, yeah. And some of them are at my mom's house back in Port Huron. I really miss my records real bad. I've got like a combination of a bunch of like 1930s jazz swing records, as well as like 6 different King Crimson records. I've got a couple Bruce Springsteen. I've got a couple modern bands like Jack White, The Deer Hunter. I've actually got a copy of Guns N' Roses' Chinese Democracy, which I really just bought because it was funny.
Cool as shit, basically. Tiffany, stop moving your head. I'm trying to put a crown on you.
Hang on, I'm taking a field trip so I can show you Terrence's record collection. Oh, crown. It looks like a witch crown hat.
That's pretty off kilter.
It's pink, but this is Terrence's record collection.
Nice.
I'm gonna pull at random a record from here. What
I
do we
really
got?
like the crown just sticking off the side of your face.
Elvis Double Dynamite.
Nice.
And down here we've got some Hooked on Classics.
Hell yeah.
That's what Terrence goes to the dollar bin a lot, to our local record store, and we'll just hang
They're
out
beautiful.
in the dollar bin and just
They're
get
great.
lots and lots of random shit, such as the
Mhm.
best of the animals.
Nice. And like that was one of my favorite things about being in my undergrad was that every so often I'd go to the music and dance library and they would have just giveaways of old classic music music records. So there would be records of like Wagner, Mahler, Handel, Vivaldi, just for free. I'm like, hell yeah, give me all those things, and I'd go home and like jam out to Vivaldi all night. It'd be great.
I do want that. Y'all,
It's a
we're
good time.
officially at hour 2 of the Hangout.
Nice.
Hey, I have a question that needs addressing.
Yes.
Someone asked where I did Puppet Titus. It was at Theater Row on 42nd and 9th in the Beckett Theater. It was really big and it was really awesome, and if you're in New York, you should check it out because the show's actually over, but the theater space is really good.
Be right back.
Okay. Bye, Alex.
Okay, real question. How do I get rid of the crown because it's not on Tiffany's head properly, and it makes me so angry?
I don't know. I had to get rid of everything and then redo the labels.
No, I don't want to do that. That's too much work. Are you alright with the eyebrow crown?
I am okay with the eyebrow crown. It's not getting in the way of my lip action. It's very
Eyebrows
important that
Crowns for the eyes.
Okay, sorry. I'm bad at this. I tried my
No,
best.
it's okay. I was moving around. I didn't stay still. It's not just you. There's 2 of us at fault here.
Life is challenging. A lot. Where did Alice go?
Maybe
Yo,
you needed more
I've drank
booze.
so much and not eaten nearly enough. Don't be me. Be better at me than I am.
Who wants dibs on the next question? So I can pull one up.
I got nothing.
You got
All right,
something?
I'll pull one up.
Give me some love, people. I got one question.
You got one, Laurel?
No, I have
one-
nothing in my inbox right
Oh, everyone go message Laurel with how much you love her and message her questions. Go do that now.
1-day-of-hope, Tumblr user, asked, I'm wondering, what is everyone's favorite food or go-to food for Tech Week? I know mine's Jimmy John's or pasta, my everyday meal. Haha.
Jimmy John's.
So my go-to is Terrence will always make a big pot of spaghetti before I go into Q to Q, and I have spaghetti for my Q to Q meal, and that's like my always. And then I eat fruit salad from Publix and pizza and nacho Lunchables. Those pre-diet. I'm on a diet now, so I've got to figure that shit out for Tech Week. But Tech Week doesn't really count for anything.
Tech
I'm
Week,
probably gonna say
you get
Pasta is really good.
but those are my go-to foods for Tech Week.
Mine is Chipotle. Chipotle is bae, always. I love burritos. I love the soothingness of holding a burrito in your hand and eating all of it.
Katie and I have bonded over burritos as many times as people can over distance.
True life. If I ever got a tattoo, it would probably be a burrito. Or a quote from Avenue Q, because those are the 2 things that sum me up more than anything else.
or like a cameo of a burrito
I want to
with
get
an Avenue Q quote under it.
I want to get like Body by Burrito because I'm so chubby. Because of but I'm also broke as shit, so I probably won't get any tattoos. I'm also chicken shit as whatever. But yes,
get
burritos are everything to me. And then I also eat a lot of goldfish, the crackers, not the fish. Because they're delicious. And
Cover.
pour them into like a bag and just eat all of them. Just all at once. Like I have the cartons of the fish above my fridge. Like that's how many. Our production manager and my apprenticeship right now, like literally like one of those big ass gallon bags of Ziploc bags full of goldfish, and he will just wander the theater buildings eating goldfish, and you're like, what are you doing, you weirdo? He's like, I'm not gonna eat them all today, and I was like, yeah, you are. And Goldfish are the best things ever. They keep me alive.
Mm.
Goldfish and burritos.
Yeah. If I'm a smart little cookie, then I'll usually cook something in advance to get me through Tech Week. Like I'm really fond of making this big fat breakfast casserole, which that'll get me through the entire week, and then I'll usually have something else to supplement my dinner fix. But unfortunately, I have a Del Taco that's about a 5-minute walk away from me.
That's done.
So a lot of times when I'm riding my bike home from rehearsal, from tech, from dress, whatever.
From where?
Oh shit! Clinky.
I'm gonna tap out real quick.
Cool.
Please keep talking. I'll be right back. Bye.
But yeah, so there are a lot of times when I'm riding my bike home, and Del Taco is right there, and they send me a lot of coupons in the mail. So there are a lot of times when I'm like, I could go home and eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or I could get a steak and potato burrito.
Ooh.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
One of these things is gonna be way more delicious.
So the decision pretty much makes itself. So
I like how I keep singing when I'm drunk.
yeah. So but like ideally when I'm in tech and dress performances, whatever, I try to have something on hand so that I can get at least one meal from home.
Yes. A+. Can you? We need to discuss this breakfast casserole because you talk to me about it all the time, and I just want in.
Yeah, me too. You should definitely post the recipe for that.
We just need to
It's
talk
the
about
simplest thing
that.
in the world, and I'll post it. It's super simple.
Yay, guys! Alex is gonna post his Breck Tech Fist casserole recipe on the internet
I'm doing this right now.
right now. Don't be distracted now. You have responsibilities, son.
Oh my god, I've got things to drink.
Yeah. Thank you. Laurel, you just got 4 questions. Hit us with one of them. I stuttered just now. I don't know.
My wonderful girlfriend just went on her phone from my bed over there and asked for the Hangout suggestions on how to support loved ones who are in theater. My first thing is cook for them because Marg makes the most amazing mac and cheese in the world.
I thought you made the best mac and cheese. There are lies going around.
Call her out.
Confused.
I said that I can bake amazing macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
Amazing is quantifiable. Marg's is more amazing than mine is.
Okay. I'm just making sure we're clear. You said one thing earlier.
I don't know if I buy this. We're
said
getting into
another thing now.
subjectivity.
There will have to be a buffet one of these days.
All right, with tech casserole and with mac and cheese and spaghetti that my boyfriend makes, and I'll make something.
I'll bring burritos.
Other than that, to actually answer the question, thank you, Marg, is like just be generally supportive and positive while they are in tech, and if like the process is frustrating, let them vent to you. Let stage managers vent to you, because often we are the ones being vented to, and there's not a lot of people we can turn to in the theater world because they are all our co-workers and bosses and people who have influence over our professional lives. So if you are a significant other who is not in theater, then I suggest allow yourself to be a venting pole for a week or two, and then like go back to your daily schedule.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I feel bad all the time because I feel like all I do is complain to Terrence, who is he's an actor, so he understands, he gets a schedule, he knows everything that's going on. But it's very true that we go through, if we're in tech, we go through a 12-hour day, and we're dealing with everybody else's problems, and we're giving solutions to everybody else's problems, and we end up with all of our own, but we can't, there's no place for our problems in the day, which is fine. We know that getting into it, that's not a complaint, but there's just in the theater during that 12-hour span, there is no time for our problems. So to have somebody to send a text to and say, this really stupid, shitty thing happened, you can't fix it. We appreciate you, and you are great people, but you can't fix it. So don't try. Just let us vent. Just let us do it. Have some booze. Have some food. Back rubs. know, whatever.
Back rubs.
Back rubs.
Just emotional support is the biggest thing.
Yep.
Because
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I think that's important. Sorry, Alex, what are you?
No, yeah, I was gonna say, like, so often, like, you get home from tech or a performance or a dress, and like something that I took away from our last hangout was Katie's quote about, like, when we're in tech or dress, these people aren't yelling at us; they're caring very loudly. So when we get home from a night, of people caring very loudly at us, it's so incredible to be able to just like. Let me just vent and gush all of this crap at you that I know you can't fix, but God bless you for listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is like the single most valuable thing to caring for your friendly neighborhood stage manager.
Oh, that's how I sign my emails. Your friendly neighborhood stage manager, Neil Meadows. There's also a picture of Morty. Thanks.
Also knowing when, like, especially if you're dating another person in theater, because I don't really know that other people exist. Because everyone I've dated has been. You do. That's true. You know, being able to take turns with the venting that, like, oh, I'm in tech this week. Please listen to all of my horrible tech complaints, and then next week or 2 weeks from now, you're in tech, so I'm going to listen to all of your horrible tech complaints. And it's really just a very specific give and take, and being able to, like, yep, that sucks, and I'm sorry that that's happening to you. And then, you know, the next week, yep, that sucks, I'm sorry that's happening to you. Just being able to support each other, and it's not all about you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know, it helps you get through the bad weeks and help your significant other, if they're a theater person, get through the bad weeks as well. You know, there needs to be a give and take. And sometimes you're like, tech is horrible, I need to lie down and not talk about it forever. Please bring me mac and cheese. And your significant other hopefully is like, yes, here is all of the mac and cheese. So yes, someone who can soak up all of your sad feelings and turn them into mac and cheese is someone you want in your life. So
that had better make it onto the live, like, vlogging, like, for fuck's sake.
I'm soaking up feelings and eating them.
Like my fourth drink, and these are like very strong, so I'm very sorry if none of
What are you drinking, P.S.? We didn't talk about what you were drinking tonight.
I'll grit the can because I can't say the words anymore.
I've got some super classy Yellowtail Sweet Red Rue wine, $7 at your local Publix.
Nice.
JMO.
Yeah. I started with Bootlegger's Brewery Golden Belgian Ale and have since moved on to this fantastic bottle of Buchanan's 12-year-old Scotch.
What do you got?
I have Red's Wicked Apple.
Oh, that's the cinnamon one.
8% alcohol by volume.
Yep.
Was the word wicked? What threw you off?
Yeah, what was the hard thing to say there, Katie?
I'm just... Listen. I just wanted to get all the words right, and I didn't know... You all are mean people. But it's
wicked... app something.
But anyway, I've had like 4 of these, and they're damn delicious, but they're also strong as shit.
You're drinking through a straw. That's why
I've had 4 of these, like, 4%er hard ciders. I'm Katie, and I'm hardcore.
They're 8%. She said it.
Really?
Alex, not appreciate it. They're 8%. Jerks, you're all mean, horrible people, and I love all of you.
Okay. You guys, we just love each other. We're just loving very loudly at each other.
Also, shout-outs to Becca for telling me to drink more water, because I'm not. She is my bae.
Perfect.
And she's telling me to drink water, and I'm not going to drink water, Becca! I'm not going to do it. Maybe later.
While we're on shout-outs, do you have another shout-out that you have to give, Katie?
I do! Let me collect my thoughts.
planned this.
So me and Leslie Explains It All, and Janelicus, all run Assemblers Unite, which is a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous place where we answer some questions. We will often post helpful tips and tricks. Like I just wrote this, just a month ago, wrote this very in-depth thing on how to sort yourself out for internships and such like that. So if that is something that you are, if you want to be included in the list of stage manager tumblers that we have, please message us, SMblrs, SMblrs, unite, .tumblr.com. Let us know your username, sort of what level you're at, college, professional, high school, whatever, and sort of roughly where you are if you want to let us know. Even just like the region or the state is totally chill with us. It is sort of US based, but if you are from another country, that is awesome. We also do Assemblers of the Week, which when we send a couple of questions to a certain stage manager on Tumblr that we know has some cool stories to tell, and just sort of contribute to the general knowledge of all things stage management on Tumblr. It is a great party fun time. So please let us, I hope we can hear from you, and we hope that you follow us. Cool deal. I hope that was kind of...
Assemblers Unite. Side note, did you guys hear all the craziness that just happened above me upstairs?
Yeah.
Did you hear all that noise?
No.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, the sports bowl game ended.
The superb owl.
A superb owl. I don't think it was that. My neighbors upstairs got home, and I think they tripped going upstairs. There was a lot of, oh, shit, and, oh, are you okay? And it was just very loud.
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Okay, do you know how old I was before I realized Florida was Florida?
24.
Listen.
Oh my god!
Did that just happen?
What?
Did that just happen?
Why did
You're watching it. She's like a newborn chick. She just freshly hatched from her little egg.
I just realized that, 3 years ago.
It's me being Laurel, hatching from an egg.
Bless your little hearts.
Alex and I are the old, wise, and bitter people here.
I realized it in, college, high school times.
Why did he do that? Why would he name himself Florida?
Why does anybody do anything?
Florida!
Florida.
Oh, I'm into that. That's so cool.
I'm into that. You guys are
I have another
nerds.
really good question.
Do it.
Yes. Stop talking about Florida.
DJ0Who-Tech.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Oh, sir. Our man.
Funkiest setup you've ever had to call from. I have a really good answer for this.
Hit
Go
it.
for it, man.
So, there was this theater that had, 3 weird fucking levels, and 2 of those levels were on stage, and then one of them was in the very back, and it was the booth. So, in order to get from the house to the booth the legal way, I had to go onto the stage, then into backstage, down one set of stairs, through a corridor, and up 2 more sets of stairs that required keys to each door that led to each set of stairs, and then through into the booth, where I could see the entire stage, which was excellent. I did not expect to be able to see the entire stage from this booth. Anyhow, the non-legal way to do this was to go out the emergency fire exit, and then around the corner, and up 2 sets of stairs. So that was probably the weirdest calling booth I've ever had, except for, from the floor of that devised piece I mentioned earlier.
I once stood, we did a devised piece when I was in school. I stood on 2 rehearsal cubes at the back of a rehearsal studio and called from there. It's probably the weirdest setup I've got. I've only ever called from backstage once, so it's weird for me, but it's a pretty common practice to call from backstage from a monitor. But otherwise, nothing too crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably the weirdest place that I've called from is a backstage podium which wasn't really a podium. It was like a rehearsal block and like a very, very narrow little desk thing placed backstage right. That was a community theater production of Beauty and the Beast that I worked on. It was just a really, really jank-tastic little podium set up backstage. I just threw my book on it, and I had a headset plugged into the wall. Really janky. I mean, in my undergrad, the worst I had was a small little space that had a ring sort of balcony that was sort of, it wasn't really a balcony in the sense of like a viewing, like audience balcony. It was just sort of like a balcony at which you could access lighting instruments. And there was a really teeny little booth thing kind of shoved into a corner of that. And every so often we'd get a monitor. But yeah, mostly I'd say the worst place I've called from was that weirdo little podium. Holding.
Q to Q Steve just called us out because we said rehearsal cube like 3 times.
Oh no! I hope it's ring forever.
Thanks, Steve, for keeping us honest. We appreciate it.
Maybe. Good looking out, Steve.
We salute you.
Steve is also bae.
Everyone
Steve
is
is bae. We appreciate
Steve's pretty
it,
bae.
man.
He's pretty bae.
You can put that on like your reviews, Steve.
Yeah. SMblr says Steve is bae.
Also, just a little bit ago, I got a question. I got an ask from somebody that was like, I never knew how to say SMblr.
I saw you post that.
Assemblery.
So,
An assemblery.
Assemblery.
Thank you so much for answering that question. It's like, all right.
Glad we could help.
Yeah.
We're here for you. Steve is drinking with us. If you're drinking with us, you're also drinking with Steven Yunkins. Is that how you say your last name? Steven Yunkins of QDQ Comics.
Old
bae. He's making jokes.
He's totally
but only we can see, and no one who's watching this live stream can actually see. Whoops.
Sorry, guys.
I've been working on this breakfast recipe for like the last hour.
That's okay. It's worth it.
Because it's one of those things I keep forgetting about.
I have a couple of questions in my inbox that have held up. Let me find one.
Do it up.
Do it.
While you're finding that, can I talk about the Netherlander?
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
So a while ago, like about 2-ish years ago, I got to have a really wonderful conversation with one of the SMs of the Newsies. And the Newsies was in the Netherlander for like 2-ish years. I don't know. I'd have to ask my friend Gabe about that. He's super into Newsies. Anyway. Netherlander also used to be the home of Rent, so my heart was exploding. And I got to like walk on the stage, and she asked me like, "Hey, do you want to see where I would call the show from?" I said, "Yeah," and she just said, "Look up." And so I looked up, and there's this like tiny little nest with like a desk and a light that's like 30 feet in the air, and you had to like climb a ladder and climb through a hole in the little
Was it a grid
platform.
station?
Sorry?
Was it a grid station?
I don't know what that is, so I cannot answer.
Like, was it like on stage right, like next to the fly rail?
No, it was further in than the fly rail.
Okay. Weird.
It was literally made for the stage manager to be able to sit up there and look down on everything and call the show.
It's a Hawkeye station.
Essentially, it's like a Hawkeye's nest. They called it a stage
Hawkeye! Hawkeye is definitely the manager of the Avengers for sure.
Like, and I asked her like, "Oh my God, wait, this are all Broadway theaters like this?" And she was like, "Yeah, most of them are. Like, what's so weird about it?" I'm like, "I've never seen anything like this. This is so weird. I'm usually calling from the back of the house."
That is weird.
So apparently, like, super upscale money theater has stage manager nests.
That sounds like everything I've ever wanted.
It's like stage left of the Netherlander. I got to climb up and like sit in the chair and put on the headphones, and it was really
fuck
cool.
That. I don't want a chair. I want a fucking nest. I want pillows. I want blankets.
Hammock.
You can do that when you have your nest. I liked the chair because it would keep you awake.
The SM at the place I'm working at now, our booth is so weird that you have to sit on the floor in pillows. in order to like see the stage, because if you sit in a chair, all you see is like the grid above the house. It's so lame, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. But I'm always in the black box where you can do that, so you can just sit in a chair and look out over everyone, and it's so cute because all the kids wave to you, and you're like, oh,
They do wave. They always
wave.
wave.
I sometimes wave back. I'm partial to who I wave to. You know, you have to.
I wave if they're being
Very
obnoxious.
selective.
If they're like, wave, because it'll shut them up.
If they're like second graders or younger, I'm like, hey. If they're fourth graders, I'm like, sit the fuck down. No, none of this.
You
I
know
had a kid during the miracle worker turn around and call and wave to me and go, "Hey, can I get your number?" Kid had to be in like the fourth grade. I was like,
No, shut it down.
no, and then I stopped waving. I didn't wave anymore after that.
My show's all for little babies. We're all so sweet. They're so great. I love kids as audience members. They are honest as shit.
Aren't they so good?
Oh
They're
man.
the best. I would do field trip matinees over public performances of a show any day.
No, I really like drunk audiences. I really like old drunk audiences. I think they are the best.
Either drunk audiences or children. That's all I want in this world. Because
Drunk
those
audiences rage me out. Because I feel like they feel
I'm
entitled.
kind of not a fan of drunks.
I feel like they feel entitled and they're like, oh, I'm funny too because I'm drunk. Sit down and shut up.
I once did Reefer Madness in my college's black box. And there was the tradition of doing a midnight show, an unadvertised midnight show specifically for the theater department, because that would be after you got out of your regular show.
Mm-hmm.
And in the course of our midnight show for Reefer Madness, like, oh my god, you could smell the pot, because it's Reefer Madness. And I had two of the actors in my year come up into the booth, which was right behind the house, just be like, hey, what's up? How's the show going? I'm like, I have a really huge cue sequence coming up. Can you please leave? And then, like, my lightboard op, who's now my dearest friend in the whole world, literally pushing them out of the booth and down the little stairs and being like, please go away. She has to call cues. And it was just, it was a hot mess. And there's that whole brownies song sequence.
Oh, my God, yes.
Different brownies and the brownies I had baked specifically for that show. But, you know, it's midnight show, so you look the other way.
You do.
But
looking the other way is a
special skill.
That's a skill.
It is, because I was like, it's midnight show, it's black box, it's not the end of the world, honestly.
To put looking the other way on our special skills section of our resumes.
Debatable.
Looking the other way requires knowing when to look the right way and knowing when really not a big deal if your actors are high.
Oh my god, wait, it's that quote. The Robert Curie quote. Like, rule number 1, stage manager never has an opinion. Rule number 2, know when to break rule number 1.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna lightning round some things because I've got a bunch of stuff and we're getting close to hour 3.
Bam!
Lord.
How do I stage manage and still look fab when I have to rub my eyes every 5 minutes when things go wrong? From Tumblr user Cassidy Sucks.
Look at all of us.
Habit.
We're all so fab. Don't rub your eyes.
Don't rub your eyes.
Also, I think Sephora has a setting spray, so maybe look into that as well.
Yeah.
I was gonna say don't wear eyeliner, because if you're gonna rub your eyes anyway, if it's like a tick or something that you can't control, then like don't wear eyeliner, because I've gotten eye infections that way.
Yeah, don't do that.
But if you can control it, then use eyeliner as like oh no, I shouldn't rub my eyes. I did my eye makeup today.
Mm-hmm. Also, because you don't rub your lips, that would be weird.
Yeah.
Alex, you weirdo.
Yeah, I do this though. Like, this is rubbing my lips.
I do a lot of lip biting, which apparently
I pick at my nails. I mess with my fingers a lot, and I'll tug on my ear. I'll sit there and do this for a while.
I all of my fingers in anxiety. It's so bad. I'm gonna get arthritis for sure.
I'm a really big fan of this guy.
I've found that I do this. I've discovered recently that I do this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Or this one.
Alex, you had a beard like 3 years ago, right? I'm not on crap.
I'd venture to say it was even more recent than that.
Yeah, you had a beard in the time that I've known you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to say around 2011.
And you had long
I-
hair too, right?
Oh yeah. I used to have hair halfway down my back.
I have known
Um,
you for so long. It's
It's been
very
a
Right?
while.
Isn't this crazy? We've been through a lot, you guys.
Yeah, like what's weird is like there are people there are like some of you clowns that I've known longer than people I've known in person. It's
No,
wild.
No, yeah,
it's wicked
for sure.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
I'm kind of trying to grow out like the full beard now. It's just, but I'm at the point now where I'm trying to like I keep buzzing it really close because my face hair grows in at different lengths. So I'm like keeping it close because like if I don't, then it'll grow out really long but not thick. So I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm in this weird halfway point now, and I'm gonna be in this point for like 6 months.
And then you'll have a very majestic beard, and everyone will be like, "Yes, Alex, yes." So
I'm hoping.
absolutely.
Tiffany,
It'll be
next question.
so good. Next question. Until we speak again on Tumblr asks opinion on Wizard of Oz. I'm currently managing it, and we have munchkins on elementary school butt scooters, lol. I don't know if that's a question, but that seems either horrible or awesome. It could go either way. If you're not dealing directly with the elementary school on butt scooters, just laugh at it and enjoy it and feel bad for your ASM who does have to deal with them.
Mhm.
That's all I've got, because that wasn't really a question. But have fun. Send me pictures. I'd like to see those kids playing around
Also-
on butt scooters.
If they fall into the orchestra pit and totally eat it, it's okay to laugh.
It
But
is.
also make okay. But it's also okay to laugh.
Bring
I
them
don't
an
like
ice pack.
any part
Laugh
of
at
that
them while
question.
you're bringing them an ice pack, but bring them the ice pack.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, so Plot Twist in a Trench Coat on Tumblr says, for the Hangout, first off, I love all of your blogs and find them extremely useful and amazing! Exclamation point. Secondly, do you have any tips for a self-taught stage manager who's about to start working on her very first musical, especially when it comes to dealing with the actual music/vocal aspects of it? We won't be having a live orchestra, but instead using pre-recorded music. Hit it.
Yo, pre-recorded music can be a total disaster, but
Yep.
it can also be like such a blessing because if the actors go off track, all they have to do is like stay silent for 2 seconds and they can find their track again. It's great, and the audience is usually like on their side. Keep in mind that like, wow, I just spoke really fast.
That's okay, we're in lightning round mode.
Write everything down, and when the show is actually going on, just remember that the audience is on your side. The audience wants the show to be good. They want you to succeed, and so that'll relieve a lot of the anxiety of, like, if actors go off track. As for general stage management tips, write everything down. If you don't think it's necessary, write it down. If you do think it's necessary, write it down in red pen. Keep everything, like, try to keep things color-coded, but also, like, be sure to generalize when you're color-coding. If you only have 4 colors, you need to be able to generalize, like, what falls under, like, tech, line notes, notes for the director, and notes for yourself. Those are the 4 categories I would do if I only had 4 colors. Yeah, that's it.
Working with music and vocal stuff it's just another set of lines. It looks a lot more confusing because you have the sheet music to go with it, and we spend extra time with it and music rehearsals, and for the actors it takes a lot more, and even for us it'll take a lot more because you have to learn. It's just a different set of feelers in your brain, which sounds contradictory because your brain is not where the feelers are, but you all understand what I'm saying.
Where are the feelings?
But it's just another set of information to process, and you just need to look at it as simply as that. You may not be able to look at it that simply, that's okay. But if looking at it that way helps, do that. Just another. I find music easier to deal with. I would much rather do a big musical than a big straight non-musical play. I understand music. I feel it a lot more than I do. I've gotten better at it, and I'm more comfortable doing straight plays now, but I am much better with feeling out beats, and I can read music. I did chorus and played instruments and stuff a lot up until high school. which is something that I'm really comfortable with. But yeah, that's my advice for working with music. And as far as recorded tracks, I work almost exclusively with recorded tracks. I've only ever called a show with three of the shows that I've ever done have had live music with them. So you just need to, if possible, get your hands on those tracks in rehearsal and start playing with them in rehearsal as soon as possible. Even if you have an accompanist, the accompanist can work, but request that during runs you run with tracks and that the accompanist doesn't run. Request that as often as possible you run with the tracks so that you know when your cue line is, because you essentially become a conductor as well when you're running music tracks.
And don't run from a Broadway cast recording, no matter how tempting it is.
It's
Holy
different.
God,
It's
I learned that the
always
hard way
different.
with Sweeney fucking Todd.
Yeah,
Don't
you will
run with
open
the
it up.
Broadway
There are dance breaks where you don't expect there to be dance breaks. There are lines in the script where there aren't lines in the recording. So it's feel it out. Don't assume that if you have a Broadway cast recording, you're good. Get your show tracks as soon as possible. If you can't, then that's okay. See if your accompanist is willing to record tracks for rehearsal.
Mhm.
See if you can offer them coffee in exchange for time if you're not in a situation where the theater can pay them to do that. But most times they will, because they're your MD or they're your accompanist, so it's part of their job to do it. But yeah, so that's my advice for calling for music and using rehearsal tracks. Anyone else?
I would totally agree with what Katie said, or not Katie said, Tiffany said. Hi.
Hey.
I would totally agree with what Tiffany said about getting recordings of accompanist tracks. This musical that I recently worked on was a concert production of Sondheim's Passion, and as often as we could at any rehearsal we had an iPhone sitting right on the piano that the accompanist / conductor was working on, and we were recording tracks of each individual singer's both their individual part and the accompaniment. So we were making sure to keep that available to the performers. If you personally, as a stage manager, don't read music, I think it's really, really beneficial to at least learn the terminology of the music world. Mm-hmm. To learn the terminology of what a decrescendo means, what a rallentando means. To learn the basic vocabulary that you're gonna hear from the orchestra, from the conductor. That way, even if you can't look at a sheet of music and understand exactly where each beat lines up, you can understand sort of like the big picture. That way you can understand, like, okay, so we're going to get quiet in this section, we're going to decrescendo in this section, and then lights, 74 lines up when they hit this climactic moment on measure 70, 80, whatever. I'm in a 70s mode right now.
What measure is that, Alex? What measure?
Shut up! You're the worst.
I'm the best. Goddamn delight.
Goddamn
delight.
delight.
I was a liar.
Goddamn delight.
You're a liar.
I think you need to change the color of your lamp to the color that represents goddamn delight.
Hold please, I'll work on it.
Purple shirt.
Should it be like a minty blue? Is that a goddamn delight?
I'm into that.
Perfect.
Yeah, so basically, like, as a stage manager, even if you don't personally know how to read music, how to translate that weird Italian language, find the buzzwords, find certain ways to make your job work. Honestly, if you spend an hour on Wikipedia looking up music terminology phrases, that will be so valuable. Mm-hmm. So that you can kind of chart the big picture movements of the score as it goes along.
Yeah. And to tack on to that, for those of you who are still students, if an independent study is an option for you, I was able to take, with a couple of other stage managers, an independent study in music theory for stage managers, is what we called it. So we went to the musical... The professor who handled all of the music theory classes for the theater department and said, can we talk about this? Can we get just terminology? Can you give us a score to call from? And our final was, we had like 3 assignments. One was just like a terminology test. One was like a theory test. And the last one was to call the Dream Ballet from Oklahoma, like a section of the Dream Ballet,
No.
based on the score. So if you're still in school and that's an option for you, that might be something to explore. If that's something that you feel is a weak point and that you'd like to work on, that might be a cool thing for an independent study. It had been a while for me since I'd done music theory, so it was a good brush up. But I know a couple of people who took it having not done any music stuff, and they ended up learning a lot, and it was really helpful to them.
My limited opera skills, though I do love opera because opera singers are fucking crazy and I love them. If your maestro is conducting based on a specific score, as is sometimes the case, find out what that score is, and like usually it's on Spotify or it's easily found in a library or on the internet, and sit down and listen to it with the score. And what we would sometimes do is mark down every 30 seconds. Just draw a red line in your score with your red pencil, write 30 seconds, 45, a minute, and just keep going. Do your timings. It takes a while. But that way you get to know your score really well, and you get to really know, about 2.5 minutes in, it gets really loud. And that's, even just that is enough to know, so when you lose placement, you can follow it really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
If you know how to read music, God, it's wonderful. If you don't know how to read music, you know how to keep time. It's very simple. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. They'll figure it out. And usually, lost placement, ask your singers. They know where you are, and they are not usually a problem to ask about.
And on the note of marking things down in a red pencil as far as timestamps go, that's a good thing to do anyway if you're working on a musical, because dance breaks, I cannot tell you how many times I've had somebody tell me, thank you, lightning round, I cannot tell you how many times I've had somebody tell me, we want to start at this portion of the dance break. And then we have to sit there. I've seen stage managers sit there and fast forward and go, here? Is it here? And fast forward. And so just mark down. If you're doing a run through, or if you have the time to sit with the script in front of you, you can mark down in your book at 30 seconds. It's this part. Like I did Crazy for You this summer, and I Got Rhythm is just this huge ass dance break, one dance break after another. So it was marking down, this is the roof dance, this time is this time is this. So doing stuff like that is really good practice anyway. It's very helpful in rehearsal for a choreographer to be able to say, I want to skip to the roof dance. And you can say, great, 4 minutes and 53 seconds, go, and you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Laurel has a lightning round.
Lightning round question. What unique part of you do you bring to your theater? Anonymous asked this. They say, I'm a lightboard op, and the running props crew always tell me that I make them smile and laugh backstage, even though I'm in the booth, and it makes me feel super special. So what do you bring? I'm going to go last. Go.
Warmth, positivity, and I will not be defeated.
Damn. I'm a goddamn delight. Also, I'm pretty solid at fixing props when they're broken and programming lighting on the fly.
I feel like I'm very thorough, and I have very pretty paperwork, and I'm good at checking in with people at the end of the day.
I think I bring nerdery and charisma. Like, I am not ashamed of my nerdness, so I bring charisma to that, but also bring nerdery to the forefront of people's minds. Like, I make Firefly references in rehearsals, and people always go, "Oh my God, wait, I'm never allowed to say that!" And it's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Rehearsal. Oh, I probably said it during that dance break stuff anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to get more alcohol soon. Bring the box in.
I'm almost out.
Yeah, I'm switching to water.
No! Okay, that's fine. You do you. It's important to take care of you.
Becca has been telling me to switch to water, and I've not been listening, Becca. I'm very sorry. I love you so much, but I'm not. You beautiful, beautiful tropical fish.
I have a question from Anonymous on Tumblr, unless anybody else has one.
Wait, Laurel, lightning round. Are we still on Laurel's lightning round?
I don't understand. Did you have more questions, or was it just a lightning round answer?
That was the lightning round.
Oh,
Check
okay.
me. Go for it, man.
Okay, cool.
Man, those are what you likes to hear.
Anonymous says, Hangout question. I'm at university right now doing video game programming. I realize that I care a whole lot more about theater than games, but the only theater experience I have is from school and from doing tech with my uni's drama society. Do you have any tips on how to get into working in theater tech? I'm in the UK BTW. I don't know how much different that makes. My answer to this is always just fucking do it. Like, people everywhere are always looking for help. And if they're not looking for help, say, can I just watch? I just want to learn. No one, I've met very few people who are opposed to somebody just coming up and honestly saying, hey, I'm a student, I'm interested, may I shadow you? May I learn from what you're doing? May I, and just go. Like, people love talking about themselves. We're here on the internet going on hour 3 talking about ourselves and stage management. Like, people love to do it. And they'll teach you, and people generally want to see you succeed, and they want to see new stage managers and new technical directors and new designers upcoming and they'd love to have a hand in creating the new people who come up. So just do it. Just contact people. Just ask. It's easier than it may seem. It may be a little daunting to reach out to people, but they're just nerds like us that may hang out on the internet and get drunk. We're all nerds who like to get drunk on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah, literally, there have been so many times in my experience where people are like, oh, we don't know how we're going to cover this something or whatever. And literally, if you can be there and be like, hey, I would love to shadow you, and maybe write a sub-track for someone, because someone has to, like, go be in a wedding or whatever the hell. Like, you are a god to people, because usually we are looking for people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're willing to volunteer your time in the exchange for experience or a conversation, that is so valuable. And, there's nothing lost and everything to gain by asking for, to buy your stage manager a cup of coffee, or to just schedule a meeting and just talk about stuff. We love talking about stuff because no one ever asks us stuff, because all of the interviews with the newspapers and the magazines in the area are always with the actors, and the stage managers are like, we're so fun! So, we love talking about what we do because we love what we do. Because if we didn't love it, we wouldn't do it. So, if you can, do not be afraid to ask us stuff, because we are always willing to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and every single theater is always looking for people who are interested in sweeping floors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like as lame as it might sound, if you can walk in and walk into a theater, go to the box office and say, hey, is there anybody that I can talk to about like hiring, anybody kind of sort of middle of the road as far as artistic director, production manager goes? Just talk to somebody, find the most managerial person you can talk to and say, hey, I would love to get in on the ground floor. Can I help you guys, even if it's sweeping the floor or something? Whatever. Every single production manager would fucking love to hear that there is someone else interested in sweeping the floor and helping clean up after a show.
Yeah.
Just go in, talk to people, and offer up whatever you can do, even if it's as simple as sweeping the floor, taking out garbage, helping clean up after a show, whatever. Even if it's volunteering, helping out, handing out programs, anything. Just walk in, volunteer, and also let people know what you would like to do. If you're volunteering to hand out programs, let people know, hey, so I'm handing out programs. I'd love to work backstage sometime. If you tell enough people that, after enough time has passed, there'll come a time where someone's like, hey, we're working on this weirdo musical. We need some extra people working backstage. Oh, hey, Jeff mentioned one time that he wanted to work backstage, and he shows up on time every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get Jeff. Let's get Susie. Let's get fucking whatever. Let's get them working backstage.
Kevin?
Yeah, fucking Kevin.
Look at that guy.
Let's get that dope working backstage because he shows up on time and he doesn't give anybody lip.
Guys, can I just point out that now Alex is really red?
Yeah?
He's so red. He's like a little strawberry.
Oh. Are
Fresh.
you very drunk or very heated? I can't.
Probably the second one because I feel a little buzzed, but
I'm very drunk. That's where my red is coming from.
I'm not at all. I'm so jealous of people. It takes a lot for me to be drunk.
I haven't really today, so that is my excuse for being the cheapest drunk in the party.
But yeah,
yeah.
like going back to the question, I would say go in, offer to do whatever, and let people know where you would like to end up. I think that would be like, boom. That's kind of my answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is grunt work. It is, the most entry-level stuff. But if you show enthusiasm, if you show that you care and that you want to learn more, that is the easiest way to move up, is by giving a goddamn. Will get you moving forward. If you don't give a shit, get out. Or if you don't give a shit, give us your money. I don't care.
Ah.
That's all I have to say.
Yay! Sorry, I had like 7 things pop up on my computer at once, so I got distracted. And then I have another thing. It wasn't you guys. It was something else. So Tumblr user Techie Outlook says, for the Hangout in the next couple of months, I am doing 3 different shows. My theater department is hosting a festival. I'm getting ready to graduate high school and start college to pursue a BFA in design and tech. How do you guys handle so many important things on your plate at once?
Wow.
Love yourself. Buy a calendar.
Yep.
I am one of those people.
Do it. You finish. I won't interrupt.
Sorry. College is hard. College is so damn hard. Hopefully you're in a program that understands that you're working on shows and won't give you a lot of homework, because that was my experience. But, syllabus day and syllabus week is the time to sit down with all of your syllabi, like octopi, and
octopodes, octopuses, and octopi are all correct.
Octopodes.
Also
and
correct.
Sit down and put all of your deadlines into your calendar. Find one calendar, either Google Calendar. I have a Moleskine that I use now. Whatever is your time management solution, sit down and put all that shit, all of your deadlines, all of your papers, all of your tests, all of your whatever the fuck, text openings, whatever, into this thing. And realize being like, shit, I got a physics paper that is due the week that I open my biggest show. Usually, if you go to that professor now, at the beginning of the semester, be like, listen, my major requires blah, 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 and I cannot do the best work that I can during that week. Is it possible that I can move this up a week or back a week or whatever? Usually, if you come up to them at the beginning of the semester and you're like, this is what my semester looks like, please help me, they are so much more willing to help you, rather than going in the middle of the week and being like, man, life is so difficult for me suddenly. Please help me. They will not give a goddamn. But if you are proactive, if you are willing to work with them, they will be much more willing to work with you. Because so much of theater is planned out ahead of time. You can plan ahead, and you can understand exactly when your problems are going to be, and you can work around them. And hopefully, I mean, yes, college is super hard, but you will get through it, because college is when you learn to handle all of that shit, and that's part of what college is to learn how to manage your time and to manage other people's expectations for you. So if you tell them, I'm in tech this week and it's going to be really hard for me to meet all of these requirements, maybe you need to bend deadlines and bend expectations so that you can not disappoint someone. You can sort of keep everyone understanding of where you are in your process, if that makes any sense at all.
It does. Yeah, time management, time management, time management. and prioritizing. You need to learn how to say, just to look at things and say, this is going to take me a lot longer to do than this thing, but this thing is due tomorrow, whereas this thing isn't due until 3 days from now. So it's just, you just have to look at it. You have to learn how to prioritize and manage your time and learn how to say no to other things. It's going to suck. You may not get to hang out with your friends for a while, and that's going to blow, but you got to just deal and still take care of yourself, rest, eat, stay hydrated, the basics. Yeah. But I mean, that's pretty much all I've got for that. I've known a lot of people who are just horrible, terrible at time management, and it does not, it's just brutal. It's brutal.
One of the things that I have, definitely taken to heart is something that I only learned how to put into words recently. 90% of stage management is time management.
Mm-hmm.
Fair play.
Legit, you just got to learn how to figure out how much time things take, and then how to schedule them properly. Like, if your reading is 10 pages of this really dense, scientific, pseudo-neurology reading, it's not going to take 15 minutes to read. It's probably going to take more along the lines of 2 hours to read, and you have to learn how to gauge that and learn how to schedule it in your own life.
Yeah. Managing expectations is by far the most important thing to learn in college, along with relationship management. Those two things are separate, but equally important. If you can manage expectations with people and be like, this is where I'm at in my process, this is where I need to be, both as a stage manager and as a student, that is going to help you so much. And if you can negotiate and manage those expectations to the people around you, then fewer people are going to be disappointed in you for the expectations they had of you in your head. Excuse me. And you can be very clear with people. And then that way fewer people are disappointed, and no one is like, oh, this person is terrible, and more like, oh, this person is learning how to be a person. And they will take care of you. So.
Yay. So we are on the tail end of the second SMblr Hangout. But before we go, I feel like it's a good question to end on. Somebody in this live chat, I lost their name, but they asked what our dream show would be to work on. So I figure we can make that, unless anybody has another question they want to end with.
Nope.
Anyone? Cool. We can make that our last question and then say our goodbyes and sign off for our second SMblr Hangout. So I'd say my dream show that I absolutely positively want to work on is Phantom of the Opera. That is my must work on before I stop stage managing show.
Mm-hmm.
It's so big, it's epic. And I suppose I could get the same thing from working in an opera, but it's different. You know what I mean. It's just
Now, just out of curiosity, do you mean like touring Broadway Phantom or like Las Vegas residency Phantom?
I have not thought about it.
Okay.
I've not thought about it that in depth.
As the chandelier that actually acts as a chandelier that then falls on the audience. I just want to point that out.
Which one is the Vegas one?
Yeah.
I've seen Vectorworks animations of that chandelier, and it is damn cool.
I saw it. It was not as cool as you would think it is.
Oh.
But then again, I also really hate that show. I'm sorry.
That's fair. It's okay. I don't care. Terrence hates it. It recently came through on tour, and I was going to go see it. And he was like, you can. You can go see that. I'll be here watching.
You can go see that show alone.
It is cool, Terrence. Damn.
Please go see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I have. It's one of those shows. People either love it or they hate it. But
Yeah.
Phantom's my must do.
Mm-hmm. I would say my dream show is one of two. It's either Wagner's Ring Cycle performed at
Oh.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's either Wagner's Ring Cycle performed at the Berlin State Opera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Oh my
Wagner done in Berlin. Boof. Like I want that so bad, just because it's like it's such a huge spectacle experience.
Yeah.
It's so big picture, and like there's this concept of like it's like dealing with gods. It's such huge, just big picture spectacle stuff. I love it. I want to deal with that at one point in my life. So Wagner's Ring Cycle in Berlin. And I would also love, I'm not sure how long it's going to be running or even if it's still running. I need to look into this. But I want to work on Ping Chong's Undesirable Elements production.
I met him.
Really?
Yeah, he did a whole
What?
Sarah Lawrence thing. What happened?
Wait, say that again, Laurel?
Ping Chong?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a residency at Sarah Lawrence. There was like a 6-week thing that like 5 students got into, and then he performed something at the end, and I met him.
That's so cool. Oh my
It was
God.
really unassuming. That's what I came away with.
I would love to work on his Undesirable Elements project because there's something so cool about going around to disparate communities and finding the common threads in these communities and bringing representatives of these small local groups up on stage and having them tell the stories of these communities. There's something so cool about that, and like it simultaneously hits my social justice button and my community theater button. I'm like, that's so cool. So yeah, either Wagner's Ring Cycle or Ping Chong's Undesirable Elements, which are like the total opposite ends of the spectrum. But yeah, that's me.
Mine are the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and SNL, which I
Cool.
feel like it's weird explaining because of how theatery I am, but there's something
Oh, it totally makes sense.
kick-ass connecting with literally millions of people that I find so fascinating. As like Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is like a whole year devoted to one day, and SNL is like a week dedicated to one night. And I think that's so cool, and I think there's so much improv that happens literally in both of those things that I feel like my skill set is best used on improvisational, we'll do it as best we can and we'll be better next week kind of ideas that SNL really embodies that I would love to be a part of personally. I think live television is the coolest thing ever because literally anything can happen. And I think live television is so much more important now in the age of TiVo, where like you watch SNL because it is live and it is written in the last 6 days, and it is so topical and it is so relevant, and that is where so many improv people cut their teeth and figure out how to perform for America in that time period. I think it's so cool. I think there have been so many topical sketches that have made or break a generation. Like literally, Sarah Palin is the person she is because of Tina Fey, and vice versa. Yeah. That is so cool to me that as an arts venue we can impact and influence elections like that, and I want to be part of that in being able to give the skills that I have as a stage manager and as a organizer of theater people. That is how I can contribute. Is as a stage manager for those shows. I can't write the sketches, I can't act the sketches, but I can organize them. So, and Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is just beautiful, and it's the beginning of the Christmas season, and if you disagree with me, you're wrong. The end.
I really want to have worked on the entire Shakespeare canon by the time I am forced out of the business, because I am also a pretentious little shit, and I just love Shakespeare a lot. Specifically, I also want to either have seen or have worked on, or both, a War of the Roses festival, which is a 4-day festival of 5 plays, I think. It's Richard II, Henry 4-1, Henry 4-2, Henry 5. Yeah, that's the 4 plays in 3 days. That
no one reads.
And then if you want to continue it with the second Henry ad, you could also do Henry VI, 1, 2, and 3, and then Richard III in the next weekend. I would really, really love to see and have been a part of those festivals because they are so few and far between. They happen like twice in a generation, and I missed the first one of my generation so far. There was one in 2000 in London that I really wish I could have seen.
Well, more, and it will be beautiful, and you'll be there.
Yes. Yes. We can go see War with the Roses together.
Oh, Lord.
Yay.
And I really have to pee and also sleep, so I'm going to sign off.
Okay. Thanks, Laurel. Happy peeing and
I
happy
love
sleeping.
all of you. Everyone who watched it.
So beautiful. I love you so much. You are a little fairy queen.
Okay, so as Laurel makes her way out, Laurel, you don't have to stick around if you have to pee real bad. Okay, bye. She didn't even wait. She said bye.
Nice. She just bounced.
See ya. So that was Liviana T, Laurel. I'm Thank you 5, Tiffany. And I'm really glad that we got to hang out with everybody again. And we had a little bit of sequel syndrome going on at the beginning, but SMblr Hangout the 3rd, which will happen, will be way super awesome too.
So much. Thank you so much, you guys. All of these questions were wonderful, and literally an excuse to hang out with these beautiful people is so wonderful.
Yeah, this was literally, also shout out to Alex, who was his literally only free night in 3 weeks. And he hung out with all of us on the internet and you guys. So he's pretty awesome.
Prince Duckling, and he is so wonderful, and he will be so good. And he should be asleep.
And God bless all of you who've been kind of looking out for my self-care and well-being. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for your questions and for hanging out and for being our Tumblr friends and our real-life friends and and just hanging out and asking questions and keeping up with everybody.
In the last one, stage management communities are fucking important or something.
They're very important.
They're so important, and this has been so wonderful to be a part of.
Yeah. So have a good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. The recording of this will be up in the next couple of hours, so if you missed it because you were watching the Super Bowl, you can watch this even in the Super Bowl later. Spoiler alert!
I'm sorry, Super Bowl?
Super Bowl.
Oh!
I'm sorry, did I mispronounce it?
Oh,
I mispronounced. I'm sorry, I mispronounced Super Bowl. I just read it all as one word. That was my bad. That was my bad.
Yes. Lord. Ireland will win, but Crumb will get the snitch.
I think that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night. I'm going to stop the broadcast.
Boo, Katie, boo.
Boo, Katie.
Goddamn delight, Alex.
Katie's the worst.
It's the best.
Good night, everybody.